And we'll go ahead and start with the question. Bring up this nice sheet.
Yes. I think I could get more games.
It is a good thing.
So this is a pretty easy question, but seeing as you all are about to go to a festival, what was your character's favorite food as a child?
I'm going with sweet buns. Or sweet rolls, or whatever they are.
Looks like so many.
Sweet bread. One of the two. Basically pastries.
Got it.
Emanuele loved escargot.
Pick a lane.
Now the question is, did he know there were snails at the time? And when he found out, did he enjoy them more?
Yes and yes.
I actually enjoyed hot dogs more after I learned what they were made out of.
Turns out they're not made of dog. Shame, really.
Well, it depends on what country you get them from.
I'll say this about hot dogs. My grandfather was a meat inspector for 2 counties, and he would not allow his family to eat hot dogs.
Yep, I can believe it.
Sticking with the Viking theme, I think I'm going to say pickled herring.
Well played.
It's got Gombo and Kenneth. Curious to see what Kenneth's childhood favorite would be.
Yeah, it's a swamp lizard, so fish, but I'm going to bring up the specific fish. I'm not sure if they have a fantasy version of
I'm sure.
Aasimar.
In my hometown, they made these wonderful bloatfly soups.
That's the lizard version of a foot-long hot dog.
Okay, all that's left is Gombo. What did Lucilla, however you say that, what does she enjoy as a child?
I think it's Lucilla.
Well, that would have an I after the L's. Lucilla.
Okay, I don't know. I used a random name generator for it, so...
I'm just going to go with Lucilla.
Lucilla,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Unless you're Spanish. Lucilla.
You know what? Basically come from Fantasy America. I'm going to be stereotypical. Apple pie.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with a fun thing like that.
Halfling. It's on brand.
Yeah. Okay, then close the questions out, and hold on a second. There it is. So, stealing a little bit of Gombo's panning of a camera kind of opening. It opens kind of like you've seen in many games, movies. You see a shot of the sun, but it's not a like waving, like heat blazing day. It's a day before the autumn equinox. As panning down from the sun, we see a bird. Looks more like a bird of paradise that seems to be more at home in the Mwangi expanse rather than Varisia. But as it heads down towards the earth, or towards Galarian, it goes down through the Whisperwood Moor, a moor full of rocks and bleak grassy hills that eventually make way into the farmland of Sandpoint. As it goes down, we see a mounted man making his way overland. Cope, if you would like to describe your character.
Oh, yes. The sun glints just lightly off his light golden parade armor. It's fancier than would be really useful in combat. His hair bounces just perfectly with the motion of the mount. If he catches a glimpse of a puddle in the ground, he looks down at his reflection, smiles in it, his tooth sparkles. He constantly tosses his hair back a little bit and looks around the countryside, and that's when you notice his mount also has shiny parade armor, though it wears it begrudgingly because it is sewn into the back of this large riding snake. And they are moving slowly down the hillside, but not a care in the world.
Nice. as the viewer would be greeted by this scene, the bird just kind of hovers above him several hundred feet up before kind of gliding eastward and heading towards the Lost Coast Road. Flying up the road, the road itself marked with small shrines to Desna. Many wagons and carts are spotted the essentially highway between Magnamar and Sandpoint. We come across another lone traveler, this one a little reptilian. If Kenneth, you would like to introduce your character.
Well, for those familiar with Lizardfolk, Ris'sh would appear kind of scrawny. But for those unfamiliar, it's a lean, muscular, almost crocodilian-looking beast. The eyes, though, betray sharp intelligence. But after that, you'd notice that she's an albino. Red eyes and white scales. Wearing a simple, almost just one bowl of cloth wrapped around with pockets sewn in, and a backpack. In a net, she's dragging a fish to market to try and sell.
Very nice. The bird now heads up northward, flying past the Devil's Platter, massive plateaus of hard and sheer rock, pocketed with caves and jutting of stone. It makes its way over the Tarandarok River, past the Tickwood Forest, to the north gate of Sandpoint, where a Viking-esque looking man has just been allowed passage into the city. If Michael, you would like to describe yours.
Yeah, so Haldor is a Viking, a very large one. He's like a human wall. He is 6'6", much taller than probably many of the other humans here in Sandpoint. I think that's probably more than the max for rolling on the regular height table. But Olfins have a different one. I put in his physical description that he's a typical Olfin man. If you had ever seen one before, you'd be able to point him out as one. He's got a long blonde beard. It's probably the first giveaway, even if you ignore his height. His furs are probably packed away, considering it's probably a lot more hot here than it is in the lands of the Lenorm Kings. Also, there's got to be a shorter way to say that. It's such a mouthful to say where you're from.
We'll have to definitely look that up and see if they have like a shortened version of that.
Lanork.
It's because the land of the Lenorm Kings is actually like 16 different kingdoms.
Yeah.
The bird now takes a wide arc around Sandpoint, going out into the sea as to call it a pleasure barge would be giving it too much credit. It is more a fishing boat that has been accommodated to transport people from Magnamar to Sandpoint for the festival. I don't know, Gombo. I just picture your character being one of the ones that's like at the very top tip of the boat, looking out in it.
Yep.
It is as it is sailing around the pyre, which is a branched out piece of land that juts almost into the ocean itself. It kind of plateaus into a nice level surface on the top. It arcs around as it begins to dock up into the docks of Sandpoint. If you would like to describe Lucilla.
Yeah. Lucilla is a halfling of about 3 feet tall. Kind of like a skin tone wise, I would consider like a Portuguese in the sun. She has slightly purplish hair, unknown if it's dye or from like distant gnomish heritage. She doesn't really wear any armor, but she's got like a big, just filled to the brim backpack, along with a whip and a short sword she has on her belt. And around her right wrist, there is, you can kind of see the token, a series of leather straps, which is actually a halfling sling that she just keeps there just in case. And currently, as the ship is coming in, she's got her journal open, which she always keeps on I forgot the name of it, but it's like a little belt that attaches a book to a belt. Wizards have it a lot. but she always has that, and she's working with a fountain pen, just finishing a rough sketch of what Sandpoint looks like in page 1 of her journal.
Nice. As you're unloading onto the docks, the bird now flying much lower goes up the streets of Sandpoint, bobbing and weaving between alleys and streets before in the front of this newly built cathedral, the stones that have made up the whole design of it haven't even shown any test of time. There is a wooden platform being hastily built. Many priests of different denominations are hammering away, transporting wood from one side to the other. And on one side of it, a woman is hunched over, helping a slightly disfigured man lift some materials up as the bird comes and lands on the shoulder of Loki. If you wish to describe your character.
Undeniably, Aasimar, though uniquely in that she has the Agathian-blooded traits, so a little bit more animalistic. The vertically slitted eyes, almost elven-esque ears, but the tips are kind of feathered with fur. She has, long, flowing, almost platinum blonde hair, and a smile that is always broad and genuine, but has a well-defined canines. So undeniable canine traits, but she walks around with the grace of a feline, really, and the companion and just the charming friendliness of your typical like house dog sort of thing. Just always friendly, always glad to be around people, and just flourishes among society.
Very nice. So from an outside standpoint, Emanuele and Ris'sh are going to be arriving the next morning at the start of the festival. Haldor and Lucilla have arrived the evening before, and Ephixa, you live in Sandpoint, so you've been here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So for the three of you, what would you be doing to kind of wind up the end of the night before anything you might need to do, anything you want to look for, anyone you want to talk to?
Find lodging is probably the smart first thing to do.
Asking around, having just gotten off the barge, they have, when you ask around, there's only 2 actual inns that have like lodging. Most of them are just taverns around here. One is known as the White Deer, and it's over by the cathedral. Let me actually bring you guys to the city map. So the White Deer is number 3 on the map. I might need to move some people around. Right up here. The other one is the one that people say that is more famous for out-of-towners and adventurers and the kind. Is known as the Rusty Dragon. That one, I believe, is number 37 on the map, which is down here. And they do describe the other taverns and stuff if you want a stiffer drink or you're looking to get into a barroom brawl, that kind of thing. But for lodgings and sleep, those would be the 2 choices.
Definitely going to the one that's described to be filled with adventurers. That's the place where Lucilla's gonna be.
No worries. What about for Lucilla and Haldor?
I mean, I just said, didn't I?
Oh, not Lucilla. Sorry, Haldor and Ephixa. I'm trying to get used to new names.
Yeah, no.
New characters who dis.
How many times have I confused people in the dwarf game? It's totally
Yeah.
Ephixa would be hanging around the church, helping out with any sort of preparations, but also, I imagine the church at least has a few children as wards, orphans and the like.
Actually, all the children that are wards, you would know being in town, are all taken in by the Turandarak Academy.
Okay.
It is number 27 on the map here.
Okay.
It does have a decent connection with the cathedral itself, as basically wards of the city for a lot of like orphans and stuff do get schooling from both.
Yeah, when she's done with helping out at the church, she probably would make her way over to the children. She's probably got a pretty good relationship with all the kids and is kind of like a fixture as, the best big sister ever sort of thing.
Yeah. When you arrive, the academy caretaker, an older gentleman by the name of Ilsori, kind of is like trying to wave them in to get them in for the night and trying to get them all wound down from being outside and being able to be active after like their schoolings for the day, and trying to get them to be patient because the festival is going to be tomorrow, not today. But as soon as you arrive, they all start like cheering and having excited to like, oh my god, it's her.
And
There's a lot of like the superstitious, are you going to bless us with good luck for tomorrow? Are we going to win all the games kind of thing?
And she would definitely be going along with it and, helping, get them settled in for the night and call them and get ready for bed. But yeah, we'd be there, telling them about, the things that are being planned and, blessing them, quote unquote, with good luck and all that stuff.
Yeah, Ilsori is happy to have the help. Despite being the one that takes care of the children, he himself is a little bit of that kind of guy who, while you tell he cares because he obviously does, he doesn't outwardly show it as much. But he is just happy to have any help getting them settled in and stop getting them to be rambunctious.
That and Yukai, the little bird that constantly hangs around Ephixa, even though it's not really something she considers a pet, is also helping out, entertaining the kids, and just giving them something to focus on a bit.
Yeah, a stray feather comes down, and one of the girls just grabs it and just like wields it like a sword, even though it's the tiny little thing. Yep. Yeah. After that, it's easy to put them down. That would probably take the rest of your night before you return to the church to rest for the night.
Yep.
For Haldor, what would he be doing?
As soon as he shows up in town, he's looking for Davrin Hosk at the Goblin Squash Stables, I think.
Yep. So that would be number 38 on the map. It is conveniently right next door to the Rusty Dragon. So we'll go ahead with yours first, then we'll go back to Gombo. The stables, as you make your way to them, the sign itself perpetuates one of the greatest fears that people find for goblins, and that's being trampled underfoot by a horse. The sign is literally just a horse's hoof and a goblin's face screaming. Entering in, you see a man kind of cleaning up the day's crud of the stable. He's like, "Oh there, what can I help you with, stranger?"
I believe, how long ago do you think him and Hilda, Haldor's sister, would have met?
Like, how long has she been dead? In your background, I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
Only like a couple months, probably, or like a month or two.
It probably would be no more than like a year then.
Yeah. He would come in and say, "I believe it. I think at some point you had some kind of interaction with my sister Hilda. You left her this ledger."
Oh yeah, I remember her. We made a friendly wager about God, I can't even remember now. It was some kind of like thing I didn't think she could best, and then she had to prove me wrong, and then I owed her some money, and I promised her the finest horse in the establishment. And is she in town? Is she here to collect?
I'm afraid not. She's underwent a terrible fate, and she's no longer with us.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry. My condolences. And he's trying to be considerate, but he's like, so if you're coming to collect on her debt, I don't see a problem with that. I do owe her regardless of whether she lives at the moment or not. But seeing as tomorrow is the festival, I can't have the horse saddled, bridled, and ready for a couple days' time. You're welcome to stay at the inn next door. I can comp your room for the next couple nights.
That'll work just fine. Thank you very much. Davin Hosk, right?
Yes. Retired hunter myself. Former goblin slayer. Eternal hater of goblins. Speaking of, if you ever come across any of those nasty little things, I pay 10 gold for every pair of ears you come across. You can always find me here. And he like points at a glass bottle in the back that has a shriveled pair of ears. It's like that right there. Slayed this goblin by the name of Chief Wardus back in my prime. Part of some bone grinder tribe back in the day. Now I just want to see all those little devils get their due.
Don't you think goblins are a little small to consider a fair fight?
You see, that's what I like to hear, but some people, they see those green things running in hordes and they just panic.
We had goblins back home try to steal some of the trinkets around. Not very hard to take care of in small groups.
Yeah.
Or scare off with fire or dogs.
Mm-hmm. Or horses, and he kind of like motions to his whole stable.
Well, I think I'll settle in for the night. Guess I'll bunk in next door.
Of course, enjoy the ceremonies tomorrow. There's going to be games, prizes, fun, and free food for everyone. Can't miss it.
And then he would wave him off and he'd exit and go to the inn.
Yep. So Lucilla would arrive at the inn before Haldor would. Inside, well, before you even get inside, the inn itself is notable for this impressive iron dragon that actually has been put on the top of the building's roof. That doubles not only as a lightning rod, but as well as a decoration. As you enter in, the inn itself is alive with fiddle music as this woman is basically jumping from table to table, entertaining the guests. Let me actually put on some music here.
I would like to say that Lucilla definitely does that tourist thing when she notices the dragon on the roof and stands still in the street way longer than you probably should. For the flow of traffic.
No worries. A couple people push past you, but it's not really that hard considering you're probably a lot smaller than most of the people that go in. As you get inside, as you fully come into the room, which is a very large seating room, the woman who was playing the fiddle eventually finishes fiddling and begins to recount tales of their daring deeds, telling stories about how they slayed the beasts of the pit to the south on the and then made their way in less than a fortnight from Sandpoint to the Storval Plateau and back. And when you come in, she does like a quick acknowledgement of greet, like, pull up a table, we'll be right with you, and goes back to telling her story. And before finishing it up, the people of the town that are in here, there are a lot of out-of-towners that seem to be a lot of merchants and their bodyguards. There seems to be, when she's telling her story, there is a man who kind of stands near the doorway to the inn who kind of heckles her stories a bit. That she kind of dismisses as she tells them. Then there's some like exchange of words between the two of them that are basically like catty comments about who sucks more, essentially. Before the guy is just like, ugh, and just kind of wanders off. As you take a seat, she does eventually come to you with a glass full of some kind of liquor, and she like introduces herself. Howdy, my name is Miko. I run this fine establishment. You seem to be from out of town. You don't look like the folk around here.
Pleasure to meet you, Lucilla Dowyard, all the way from Mount Andoran.
Oh wow, that's quite a ways out.
Don't I know it?
And she's like, if you're looking for a room tonight, I got common rooms, single rooms, luxury rooms. They all run you from gold, silver, copper. Though if you can tell a story to the inn, I can give you a discount.
Definitely.
You don't have to actually in character.
No, I know. Takes a sip of alcohol. I've heard of a tale or two. Think maybe I could spin a yarn for y'all.
And if you would like to, go ahead and roll a performance check as you're telling the story.
Okay. Let's hope I don't biff literally the very first thing.
First roll, who dis?
15. That's respectable performance.
Not bad.
Better than 0.
So you spin a fine yarn. People seem very interested in it. One, because it is an actual decent story you're telling.
Mhm.
Two, most of the people here are highly inebriated by this point.
Yeah.
And three, they just came off of Amiko's storytelling performance, so they were already primed and ready for another story. So in addition to getting the discount, you also do receive 9 copper pieces for the storytelling. So yeah,
And this
the
is
common
100%
room
100%
would be
just a story that Lucilla heard from someone that worked for the Pathfinders.
So yeah, common room would be 2 copper pieces per night. A single room would run you 3 silver pieces, and a luxury room would be 1 silver piece, or 1 gold piece.
I think I'll just take a common room for the night, so that's 2.
2 copper pieces.
Mhm.
Haldor, during the middle of this storytelling, you have entered as well. Davert and Hosk has actually come in a little bit behind you and pulled Amiko aside real quick and told her about the situation. You are given a bed for the night in the common room.
I'm just up on top of a table in the middle of a story. But it turned out, in ancient Katapeshi, Saren Ray starts with an I, and that's how we figured out a way around the trap.
Nice. Joke.
Okay, Lucilla Jones.
Yeah, and he would thank Davern, and he would start drinking.
The drinks here, there is the normal just seasonal ales that run anywhere from 3 to 6 copper pieces per mug. Then they have the fancier meads that run a little higher, but everything's been pretty discounted with the festival coming on. They've overstocked with their mead and ales, so every drink you drink basically would run you a copper piece this night.
All right.
It is one of those things that as soon as you start drinking, everyone just like sees you drinking. They're like, ah, and then they start drinking their own.
You won.
Lots of merriment going
What did I
around.
win? Another beer.
Yeah, the room itself stays loud for quite a ways into the night. It doesn't get start emptying out towards midnight as you see people who are actual townsfolk kind of like stumbling out of the inn to make their way back home. Merchants begin to settle in for the night to sleep. Their guards take either the common rooms or share one of the luxury rooms with them, and you find yourselves bedding in for the night. Fun fact for Gombo's character, there is only one other halfling that he's seen all night, and that is somebody who seems to be working here at the Rusty Dragon themselves, an older woman who seems to be the kitchen woman who does a lot of the cooking. So unless you guys wanted to do anything else during the night, we would go ahead and call it you guys getting a rest in.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I robbed the magic store.
You have to find it first.
I build an orphanage, then I set it on fire.
So you awaken the next day, and the town is already early in the morning. It's already a buzz with the merriment of the festival getting ready to take off as people are making their way to the town. As you all are kind of just groggily waking up, there's some merchants when they're getting up. They're trying to already hawk their wares. If you come here, our stall sells this and this for more or less pennies on the dollar. You should see the handiwork my brother helped with the cathedral and yada yada, trying to upsell it as they leave their way out. Up to you what you guys do, but I imagine you are going to go to the festival as everything else in the town is closed today.
Seems like a good place to start.
Emanuele and Ris'sh, you arrive not at the same time, but pretty close. Ris'sh is actually the one that arrives first, but they are stopped by the guard as they're entering Sandpoint, where to the point it takes the the leader of the town guard by the name of God, I know his name. Why can't I remember it? Name of Belor. He is a bald Shawanti man wearing full armor, not like plate armor, but like medium armor. Who comes in and as like he kind of like sends his guards away and he apologizes on their behalf. You'll have to forgive them. They see anyone that looks a little odd and they immediately go to suspicious thoughts.
Yes, understandable. Soft-hide village needs protection. Yes. I am
Indeed.
merely traveler.
Well, you're welcome to join in the festivities. If anyone gives you a hard time, just speak to one of the guards and let them know. Generally, people here are good folk, if not a little bit superstitious.
What are soft-hides celebrating?
We've just opened up a new cathedral in replacement of the one that burnt down many years ago. That coupled with the autumn equinox, we figured it would be a perfect time to start up the Swallowtail festival again.
Interesting. We'll see. Must attend to fish first. Although, a person might interest in buy.
Anyone who might be interested in fish would probably be down at the harbor. That, or you could maybe find somebody who might be able to buy it to cook it up if it's a decent fish up at the festival itself.
Yes. I bid you well.
He kind of gives you a nod as he heads his way back into the town. Emanuele, your entrance to the town is much less affronted, though people are a little taken aback by the giant snake you're either riding upon or walking next to, depending on what you're doing at the time.
He would definitely ride. It makes people understand what the snake is for.
Yeah. They're a little taken aback, but when they come in, like, are you a performer for the festival?
No, but that kind of gallantry does follow me around a great deal. No, I'm just a traveler here, seeking room and board.
Well, I'm afraid many of the inns are closed for the festival, but you're welcome to entertain yourself there or wander around the town if you want to until they open again tonight.
A festival sounds wonderful. That you are good people to have that just for me.
Yeah, of course. And they kind of just let you in and kind of look at each other a bit confused about the whole situation. So depending on what you guys want to do, if you all are making your way to the festival or not, let me know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fix would
A
be.
couple people on the way, like, you want to buy fish?
How many days ago did you pull the fish out of the water? I do have to ask.
1.5 at this point.
Okay, so it's not gone completely terrible.
But you know he's coming.
If not, I'll eat fish at the end of the day.
He
So,
straps it to his
Ephixa-
chest to keep it fresh.
Ephixa, you're during the beginning of the morning, you help the leader of the church, Father Xantus, and a couple other people wheel this covered wagon out from the cathedral. And as you do, like, Father Xantus speaks to you like, I believe that you've done more than your fair share if you wish to enjoy the festivities, Ephixa. Please immerse yourself in friendly manners that the town's come accustomed with. Meet some new people. There's people from Magnamar and who knows where else.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. I think if you need help, just send a runner or something. I'll be right over. But I would love to see what sort of festivities are going on and see if I could find some of the little ones and keep them in line.
So as he sends you off, early in the morning when everyone starts to get into the festival and they're starting to look around to see what there is to do, there is a middle-aged woman who makes her way up to the wooden platform that is the little central stage that they've set up in front of the cathedral. As she clears her throat for a second, a lot of the people look over, and this is where it gets a lot of words for me, so bear with me. As she nods to a few people, she's like, "Good morning, everyone. It is so delightful to see so many faces here today, both new, familiar, and those of you from out of town." She kind of motions to the crowd. "I am Kendra Deverin, Mayor of Sandpoint. As Mayor, I'd like to extend a welcome to you on behalf of the town. I hope you all enjoy your stay here in Sandpoint and sincerely hope that you have a wonderful time. Our town has much to offer, and we hope we can consider you as friends. Spend some time here in Sandpoint, and you'll grow to love it like we do. And even if you don't stay long, spend your money here while you're here." There's a few merchants in the crowd that kind of chuckle. To those of you who already know me, I'm glad you can all spare a day to celebrate. I'm sure only Ravansky, our tanner, is too busy to. Oh, look, friends, here he is in the first row. And Lars is here. He even has left tanning hides to be here. I'm sure his workers are glad that it's not their hides getting tanned, at least not for today. So, some more chuckles from some of the townsfolk. But she's like, "But seriously, thank you for everything that each of you has done to keep the town strong. Thank you, especially for the time, sweat, and love that you've put into this fine cathedral. Sandpoint wouldn't be complete without a church, and we've always had heart. The true heart of Sandpoint is you, her people. But now we have an expression of that heart, and we built it ourselves. I can already smell the lunch cooking from our tavern keepers. A round of applause go to Amiko, Garrison, Cracktooth, and Jargi. I'm sure Father Xantus can spare an extra prayer that they don't burn down anything today before we get to eat it. Before you get on with your time, we do have a few more announcements. If we can welcome our dutiful sheriff, Belor Hemlock. And Ris'sh, you recognize the man coming onto the stage. A severe, imposing individual, bald, dark-skinned. He speaks very deadpan as he looks over the crowd. "Thank you, Mayor. First off, let us have a moment of silence. Let us remember the memories of those friends and family members who have lost their lives in the tragic blaze that made our new cathedral necessary. May the blessings of our God see them happy and well in the afterlife. Over the next 3 days, all instances of wrongdoing will be dealt with swiftly and to the fullest extent of the law. No exceptions. As the Sheriff of Sandpoint, I, Belor Hemlock, would also like to welcome everyone to enjoy themselves today. And you may or may not be aware of the planned bonfire at the beach tonight. It looks to be a promising festival. Do trust that I will be monitoring the safe level of conduct, though, even late into the evening. And I am trusting our fun will lean to the side of caution. If you are a militia member, remember where your duties lay and help keep Sandpoint safe, and keep your hands off the mugs. Thank you." He kind of steps down, not bothering to introduce the next announcement. The man that you saw heckling the bar owner the night before, Lucilla, comes up with a very slow kind of clap. He's like, "Well, thank you, Sheriff, for that uplifting oratory. Don't worry, I doubt there will be any fun for you or stress over things today. If things get out of hand, you can ask Amiko to take the stage and put us all to sleep with one of her stories. We can all agree that today is our time to celebrate. We know this town has been through some hard times, but we don't lay down easily. Look what we've accomplished." He kind of pauses. And I'm telling you, they spared no expense with this place. Father Xantus' chamber pot? Solid gold from what I hear, and comes with a singing choir standing nearby. It's no doubt our neighbors and nobles put a pretty copper into the construction of this joint. And to think they wanted nothing in return but to enlighten us and our taxes for many lifetimes to come. But we're not about your coin purse. I've heard from Father himself that the gods are getting their gold together to help you pay for this place. But don't take it from me. Let me hand the stage off to the man who's in charge here. But before I get things going, I'd like to take this opportunity to extend my personal invitation to each and every one of you for the new production of The Harpy's Curse, starring the world-famous Magnamarian diva Alashonda as Avarisa the Harpy Queen. It will be premiering tomorrow evening and continuing throughout the next 2 weeks at the theater. Come see it. It will be fabulous. And join me in a round of applause for the Holiness Father Xantus. When he's talking, during the entire time, there are many people heckling him, or it seems like many people, but it's easy to surmise that it's all coming from one person as it carries on. Halfway through the conversation, it's like, what about your last flop of the theater? I'm almost done with my newest ballad. It's called Seardak the Unimpressive. And then, what a sleepy crowd, Seardak, and more heckling and as it continues on. But as he takes his leave of the stage, Father Xantus, a older gentleman dressed in the cloth of Desna, comes in, and he's like, today ushers in a new season. Many would see this call the season autumn, the season which makes summer give way to winter, bring cool air and colored trees to the canvas of the world. But others refer to the season as fall, and there is good reason for that, for today also marks the day that Desna fell from the heavens after doing battle with Lamashtu. Lamashtu gloated as she began to ransack Desna's palace, laughing all the way as her body fell into the sea below. Though all the world wept for the loss of the goddess, and of dreams it is said that she survived, wounded, and washed upon the rocks of the sea. She was discovered there on the rocks by a blind orphan, forgotten, cast aside by all the world, though the orphan knew not of what she had discovered, and could do little for the wounded goddess. She still stayed there by her side, holding a vigil on the beach, praying and tending to her as best as she could. And though she tired and knew that the goddess had little chance to recover, she remained there throughout the night and into the weeks, praying and keeping faith. And eventually Desna did recover, though all the world thought her lost, and thanks to the child that prayed for her health, and she was transformed into an immortal butterfly to forever remain in her palace in the heavens. And as he says this, he pulls aside this tarp from this wagon that has been pulled out, releasing a thousands upon thousands of multicolored butterflies into the air, to the cheers of children as they begin to try to chase them, as they futilely try to catch them, but they're never quite quick enough as they chase and chase. This story reminds us that this tragedy is just a setback and not an end. Though our place of worship was destroyed and our previous priest, Father Tobin, perished in the flames, we have persevered as Desna would desire, and built it anew. Today is our day of new beginnings and our day of ascension. Friends of Sandpoint, I declare the Swallowtail Festival officially underway. And to a round of applause from the crowd, it takes barely a moment for people to hawk their wares, people to advertise the games throughout the town, and you all are left to your devices. So it's up to you guys what you'd like to do for the day. There are festival games of all sorts going all around the town. There seems to be an obstacle course near the junk beach. There's arm wrestling contests. There's one of those try your strength things where you're trying to get the hammer to hit it hard enough to ring a bell. There's a few different games called the Devil's Hunt, the Goblin Toss, and the Lighthouse Smash, as well as one known as the Dragon Races. They are all being directed towards different parts of the town. There are food and vendors selling all kinds of novelty things.
Fix would make our way towards the games. Curious to see what's going on there.
Dragon races, you said.
Mm-hmm. What's everyone else doing?
Probably head towards the dragon races.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that one also intrigued me. It's either that or try your strength, but I've got enough self-awareness.
What about for Haldor?
Can you say the games again?
So there is an obstacle course, arm wrestling, try your strength, the Devil's Hunt, the Goblin Toss, the Lighthouse Smash, and the Dragon Races.
He will go to try your strength.
Okay, we'll come back to you since I think everyone else is going to the Dragon Races. As you arrive at the Dragon Races, the group of you, you see a person talking up the thing. Like, there's been talks of starting a dragon farm in Sandpoint, so we've got to find out which one's the fastest so we can have the best dragons. And he like motions to this like little thing that's been set up in the market square on the south side of the docks, just at the beginning of Market Street. As you made your way there, it has 2 double lane tracks set up next to each other with 3-foot wide gaps between the tracks. The tracks are 30 inches long, or sorry, not 30 inches, 30 feet long. Near the starting line, there are cages with 12 lizards. Each one has a set of twig and cloth wings attached to their backs, and each one is painted a different color to look like different little dragons. The name of the game is without touching your lizard, you need to goad your lizard down the track and get him across the finish line before your opponents and win a prize. It is 1 copper piece to play, and once they have 4 people picked, you place them in the starting lines, and at the sound of the whistle, the gates are lifted.
Emanuele holds up a copper.
And they're just normal lizards.
They are.
Like, Lucilla knew they weren't going to be dragons, but it's still
Yeah,
a
I
little
don't think-
disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't think they're starting a farm of creatures that their newborns are as smart as a full-grown man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With 14 intelligence, like, I knew they weren't going to be dragons, but, like...
You
I
can
was
definitely
expecting,
tell
like,
they're playing up the whole thing to the children and stuff.
oh, yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Oh, is it just children playing the game?
Oh no, there's adults playing it too. If you want to roll me a perception.
Did Emanuele bring his riding snake?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably occupy my attention more. It's just like looking at these miserable painted little lizards and eyes drift up to a massive, like, anaconda.
I'm gonna say Emanuele would notice because he's always looking for people to adore him.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
looking at your snake.
And he'd say,
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what she said.
this is Juan. He's much more of a dragon than I'm afraid our racing participants will be.
Certainly looks closer, and just for fun, because I made the book smart character for a reason. Where are you? Hey. So I probably know a little species information on that snake. Perhaps its scientific name, if nothing else.
As you start saying that, the constant smile on Emanuele's face starts to droop. Yeah. Do you want to ride him?
Do I? By the way, what do you feed him? It's a little ways away from his natural habitat's primary food source.
Well, last time I fed him a cured ham, but I am looking for something. Maybe a small pig. Some kind of good-sized meat source. Usually the merchants around have something. And with that, he's going to, like, pick you up and say, "This way, ma'am," and pick you up and put you up on the saddle.
Nah, bad touch. Okay, I'm here now.
And then he's going to slap Juan on the side and say, "Giddy up."
And that's how you steal a mount, folks. Game, I'll roll for new character.
He wouldn't even notice.
How you tame Great Coil?
He was a gift from my Lord General father. What is...
So you're not
Like, you
taming
want to eat
yourself.
that? Are you going to eat that? He's pointing at your giant fish.
Not if someone else buy. You want fish?
I do. How much?
Make offer.
Well, I was going to waste this copper on that game, but I'll give you 2 of them. I have no idea what a fish is worth.
Make 3.
3 it is. What is your name?
I am Ris'sh.
Ris'sh.
Means cutting eye in Swallowtail language, I believe.
Cutting eye. Very valiant name. Do you get cut or do you cut?
No, he's mean that I have the power to cut things with a glance. As very powerful. I believe mage his term.
Ah, magical arts. I had to read about those once. Dreadfully boring stuff. But here's your coppers.
Thank you.
And I apologize. You asked and I didn't say. The name is Emanuele. Emanuele Depardieu.
Zuntai. I'm fully on the head of your snake right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the kids are getting distracted by the giant snake and moving away from the dragon races, which, much to the chagrin of this very greasy-looking individual who's running it.
Mhm.
He's kind of just like looking at the group of you with like a tap of his foot, like,
Ah, children. The winner of the dragon races gets to ride the snake. And then he winks at the stall owner and gives him a Mentos smile.
He kind of just gives a nod of like, very well, I'll allow it. And the games do kind of progress, and it doesn't take much of a glance to notice that some of the lizards seem to just move faster than some of the other ones.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just people start playing the game.
Fix will give it a shot with the dragons. Can I use like a handle animal to kind of encourage one of them to
that's how you play it.
Okay.
So if you're gonna enter into one, go first. Roll me a 1d12.
7.
Okay. And then the way that you get these things to move faster than normal is you would make an animal handling check. If you have any ways to coax them beyond just yelling at them or trying to sweet talk them, I can lower the DC. So if you have any ideas.
No, lizards aren't exactly her specialty. So, and
So
the
just go ahead
landlord
and do
is.
that. Handle animal. Oh, nice. So yeah, you just start talking to this lizard. What do you say to this lizard? Because it is booking it.
Just treating it like the dragon it is and giving it the dragon pep talk of, you're a fierce creature and, just kind of really feed into that dragon ego that it should have in theory.
Yeah, you're able to get it to move quite quickly. A couple times it even manages to do that thing where lizards sometimes walk on two legs as it's moving really fast. The guy who's running the game is like, I'll be a son of a bitch. He's like, well, the winner is Ephixa. And he kind of comes over to you like, I don't know how you did that, but congratulations. I'm out 10 silver. And he like smacks the reward in your hand, which is a bag of it's basically 1 silver, but it's 10 copper pieces, as well as a another bag of dragon jerky, which is like
So
you go you get 10 copper.
Okay.
And a bag of dragon jerky, which looking at it, it looks like just kind of some kind of normal jerky.
Okay. So 10 copper and dragon jerky. Gotcha.
Some nice fair food.
Your man can't live on gold alone, but I'm certainly sure you're not supposed to eat coppers.
No, not eat. Focus.
Focus.
Either that, she's checking the quality to make sure you're not swindling.
My dear lady, I've been called much by better, but never swindler.
Didn't say you were, just said maybe she's checking.
Meanwhile, you're saying this all on top of a snake,
Yeah, exactly.
which it's a large creature, so it is massive compared to Lucilla.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I thought as a halfling, this is just a jungle gym.
While you're all handling that, Haldor, you go to you said try your strength one.
Yeah. Try your strength.
As you go over to it, it is very stereotypical. There is a mallet. You have to hit the the ground on the platform thing hard enough for the bell to be rung. He's like, it is a copper piece to play, but if you do it, you win 1 gold. But you have to ring the bell.
All right. He'll put in his copper piece to play.
No worries. Go ahead and make a strength check.
All right. Let me see. I don't think I have really anything to make it better, so just strength. 8.
Yeah, as you hit onto it, you weren't expecting the mallet. Like, it's made of wood, but the mallet is surprisingly weighty toward the front, and it kind of messes off your balance as you swing, and it only gets like less than halfway up the mast. Like, he's like, "Ooh, tough luck. I'm sure you'll get it next time, man. As beefy as you are with the size of you. I mean, fuck. What must have your mother fed you? Like, care to try again? Just another copper piece."
Yeah, he'll put in another copper piece.
Go ahead and make me another one.
I mean, theoretically, this is worth it for a while.
Ooh, this one gets like 3/4 up. It's like, ooh, I'm afraid just a little shy. I don't think you had a good breakfast this morning. Your muscles just aren't treating you well.
Okay, he'll give him 1 more.
Go for it.
And then I'm going to try to sunder the mallet as I hit it down.
You know what? I'll give you a free +2 on the strength if you succeed in the CMD or CMB roll.
Oh, yeah, let me.
Well, yeah, go ahead and do the CMB.
The CMB.
Because I don't. Do you have Sunder as a feat?
There we go. It's 13 on the combat maneuver and 16.
Okay, that's good. That's good enough. So yeah, as you bring the hammer down this time, as it hits, you hear everyone in the whole area that you're at hears the bell ring, and he like looks at it and is like, "Holy shit, you did it!" And he looks down and he sees the mount that like the bottom half of it has been split in two, like you just hit it against a fucking wedge of an axe. Like, well, I believe you won, and he hands you the gold piece and like, we're closed until we can get a new mallet, I'm afraid. It will just be a few hours. As he takes them out and begins to look for somebody who can cast mending.
Oh man. That definitely reminds me of one of my favorite jokes from Mass Effect 3 when this grizzled space badass mercenary veteran spent 8 hours trying to do a skill crane machine in an arcade, and he becomes progressively more obsessed with it.
That's really funny.
He's like, this guy's got scars all across his face, and he's killed like hundreds of people, and he's like swearing and kicking this machine, and your character's like, why are you doing it? He goes, oh, some kid wouldn't shut up about not getting a stuffed animal. What happened to the kid? I don't know. He left like a few hours ago.
So I'm enjoying the character interactions and everything. So just let me know when you guys are done with the festival stuff, and we can continue on. But just FYI, I don't have any set like deadline.
After the dragon race, Fix would be munching on some jerky and make her way over to the giant snake. Kind of wave up and, I think I want to ride.
Well, beautiful lady, I think you did. My name is Emanuele Depardieu.
I'm a Fixa, but you could just call me Fix. Everybody does.
Fix. The way you talk to those lizards, are you an animal handler?
No, just an animal lover. And she would kind of pet the little fruit dove that's perched on her shoulder.
Well, what's a fruit dove?
It's like a dove, just a lot more colorful.
Oh, that's a very colorful animal. Oh, it's your turn to get down and grab her and put her down.
I can get down on my own, and I'm like kicking at your hand.
Oh, fine. Okay. Juan, hold still. And he pops the snake on top of the head. He's not very good with animals.
Yeah, I just get down on my own. And for the record, she can probably get up on her own as well. Just putting that out
Yeah.
there.
I mean, he's not gonna grab at the beautiful lady.
Ooh, shots fired.
I was gonna say, damn.
He picked up the child.
And so it begins.
Yeah, Fix will make her way up on the giant snake and see what it's like being perched up there. How fast is this thing?
Quite fast. This is actually a racing snake of my father's stables. If you think you can handle her, you can take her around.
If you don't mind?
No, not at all. I'll meet you right back here. Juan, be good, or you know what'll happen. His name is Juan.
Good to know. Hi, Juan. And she would pet the snake.
How trained is your snake, by the way? I can't remember how many tricks and stuff it has.
It has very few because it's so low intelligence, but it is fully combat trained, so it knows ride and all that. It knows attack.
So it
come,
knows not
defend.
to bite unless you tell it to, kind of thing.
Yeah, it knows attack, come, defend, down, guard, heal, aid, and flank.
Okay. So yeah, it's trained enough that it's not going to just like try to bite at whatever's in front of its face.
Yeah. And plus, I was reading about big snakes, and I imagine at this size, conservatively, if I feed it once a month, it's probably not going to act out of hunger.
Yeah.
What I read said like once every 3 months at this size.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe not because you actively ride it and stuff, but yeah, not too far off.
Oh, by the way, Gombo, this is how you steal an animal companion.
Yep.
So, yeah, she'll try taking it for a spin around the block.
Well, even though it's trained, it is bound to someone else. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check. See how well you ride it.
Ooh.
I mean, it's not bad. You don't get like bucked off of a moving snake or anything.
Yeah,
But
the evil animal stuff is really low.
yeah, it's you're able to move it around and everything. Can't do anything fancy with it.
Yeah,
but...
she's not trying to. She doesn't know what this thing's capable of.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people around, so just the basics of go forward.
Lots of children are chasing you around as you're riding on it.
Mm-hmm. She would be teasing the kids as well, just playing along with them.
So I just looked. It's not as fast as a horse, but it's a normal snake's only got a 20-foot move, but it's got a 40-foot move. But a horse has a 50.
Still pretty fast.
Yeah, it's twice as fast. And
Which is funny if you've seen some actual like real life ground snakes. Those things can get going.
Yeah, there are some that can move.
Ironically, have you ever seen a turtle run?
Yes.
No.
It is weird looking, but they can move if they want to.
Yeah.
And that's their tortoises. But
Used to have a red-eared slider, and we brought it out to the yard one time so it could get actual sunlight rather than a lamp, and it kept trying to go to a nearby water fountain. And if you turned your back on that little sucker for more than 30 seconds, he was almost there.
yeah.
And then we looked up, and like 2 giant birds were circling, and we took them back inside.
Like, turtle soup. So yeah, you're free to do anything else you guys want to.
I'm gonna wander off from the snake guy to go try to find that obstacle course.
Yeah. They actually have a ladder going down from Junker's Way here to the Junk Beach.
Mm-hmm.
As you go down, the Junk Beach itself is just literally what it's called. There's a bunch of random garbage that's been discarded, that's been thrown over the side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually been moved around into like a pseudo obstacle course. The person kind of barking it up is advertising it. It's 2 copper to enter. You can only enter once per day of the festival. The prize, though, if you can make through all the obstacles, is 5 gold.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with you go through the short little maze that they've made with the debris. You climb up the massive mound towards the end of it, down into a makeshift crawl space that they've made that you have to dig your way through, and then you have to. From there is a path that they've made with some floating hollow wood they've kind of put around and tied ropes to make a course in the water that you swim through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all there is to that one.
Yeah, I'll only up the 3 copper you said.
2 copper.
2 copper? Yeah, I'll pony up that.
Okay. So first thing that I'll need from you is an acrobatics.
Okay. This does not seem safe at all on a beach filled with rusty garbage, but that's totally fine. I'm all for things that aren't
It's
safe.
adventure.
Yeah. 12?
+2 from halfling.
Well, the +2 is factored in. It just notes it.
Okay.
That's the bonus
Yeah,
where the bonus comes from.
You're able to get through the maze. From there, it's climbing up this basically pile of trash. Go ahead and give me a climb check.
That is not as good. Is there any way I can get creative with it?
It is like a pile of just basically broken woods, metals, and other miscellaneous garbage. So if you have an idea of flavoring that of what you would be doing with it, you're not restricted from what you have. So if you have anything you want to try to use as a way to kind of circumvent some of the problem, I'll allow it.
How tall is this pile of trash?
It's like 20 feet.
20
It's
feet?
it's like angled stuff, so that way it's able to do it. Think of those like wooden planks that they put straight up, but it's that being held up by trash.
Okay. I want to find like a really like firm grip part near the top, and I'm gonna use my whip as a rope to get up.
Okay, I'll let you have a +2. I'll say.
Okay. That will be needed. Hey.
Yeah. You're able to grab it with the whip at the top, and you use the whip as a climbing rope, and you pull yourself up and leap over the other side. As you do, it actually is a slide that slides down into the hole. Inside, it is a very tight squeeze.
For a halfling?
Well, not for you, for a halfling, but for a human, it would be. So the DC will be substantially lower for you, but this will be an escape artist check.
Okay.
As you're trying to make your way through the debris.
There we go.
Yep, and you're able to get through that with ease thanks to your small stature. From there, you're into the final stretch. It is a swim that kind of just circles back to the starting point. So go and give me a swim check.
This will be my weakness. There it is.
Ooh, and yep, you get about a quarter of the way into the water, and then you remember that your all your supplies are still on you, including your books and quills and stuff. So you beat a hasty retreat. I'm just flavoring it this way.
Yeah, I also grew up in like plains, not like in the ocean. So probably swimming skills was not something that was taught in childhood.
But because you beat a hasty retreat, the time that they have in the hourglass eventually runs down, and they're like, "Oh, so sorry, you're almost there." But they help you back over the debris back to the starting point, and the next person tries their luck.
So close.
Yeah, you got pretty far in. They do let you go back up if you want to continue on, they could, if you want to, they help that you go back up the ladder, back into the town. It's like a rope ladder that they kind of rolled down.
Yeah.
Up top, you're actually, where are you at? Right there. You're near the old light here, which is this ancient towering like stone monument that is clearly of man-made build, but is definitely hundreds, if not thousands, of years old. There is an old man in robes with a small pair of glasses that is like reading stories to children. He's speaking of like ancient Thessalonian wizards and their crafty ways and how they built Old Light for some nefarious deeds. He's right across the way from the this big sign that says the Lighthouse Smash, which looking at it is basically just that kind of game where you throw a baseball at a tiling thing of milk cartons, and that's all that you see at the area there. And other than like some vendors selling foods and such. Well, since you did that, is anyone else wanting to do anything?
What other games were there?
Other than the ones that you've seen so far, there is also an arm wrestling one. There is what's called the Devil's Hunt, which, since you're a local, you would know that is basically an archery game.
Okay.
There's the Goblin Toss, which is you're throwing beanbags to try to make it into a hole. The Lighthouse Smash, which is you basically have to knock over the bunch of cups. And then, the obstacle course to try your strength.
Okay. I spoke recently, so I'll let somebody else pick real quick.
Anyone else want to try anything?
I think Kenneth walked off.
Haldor will go to the arm wrestling.
Oh yeah, I just saw that you went to go find out some sort of magic or reagent stuff. So we'll go ahead and do that before we get into the arm wrestling. So are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just casually browsing?
Just browsing. Mostly looking for stuff for crafting scrolls.
Okay. There are some vendors on the festival selling magical reagent packs of the pouches of magical materials. They do have stuff that you can use to make scrolls. You do find a store that's closed currently, but seems to be some kind of magic kind of store.
It's nothing that takes particular RP though.
No. So you're able to buy any of that stuff, but I'll get to the name of the store if you ever want to go there later when I can find it.
Definitely making a note of it.
Okay, yeah, it's called the Feathered Serpent. It's number 44.
Way down on Rome Street.
I didn't realize this was such a reptilian campaign.
Apparently. So, yeah, you're able to buy whatever you need for scroll-wise or what have you. Going back to Haldor, there is a bunch of largely drunken fishermen, but there are all sorts of people participating. The game itself, it is a very simple opposed strength checks kind of thing. There's no entry fee. It's basically whoever wins the most games by the end of the day wins a prize. So, are you going to sit down and try your hand at a couple rounds?
Yeah.
Okay. First up, there's this man that comes up who looks like he's drinking out of a bottle, but at this point he doesn't realize that the bottom of the bottle is broken and he's not drinking anything but air.
Cool. So this guy's my Glass Joe.
Yes. He's like, "Come on, I'll take you on. You don't look so tough." He just puts his arm down. So go ahead and roll that d20 minus 1.
I rolled that.
Yeah.
Still better than that.
Yeah, even with the 8-year-old, with the natural 1, you lock arms, and as soon as it starts, you pull, and he flips out of his seat onto the ground. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know this was a fighting tournament. I thought it was just arm wrestling." And he just gets carried off by a couple of his friends.
Not my fault. You're 90 pounds.
He falls down like one of those guys that gets thrown down by one of those fake martial arts masters that are like no touch. Have you seen those videos of the guys like, "I'm a master of the no touch martial art," and they wave their hands and all their students just like throw themselves everywhere?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you continue on, the next person that kind of comes up is this, he just looks like a farmhand, but he definitely looks a little bit more put together than the last guy.
All right.
He's like, "Please don't break my arm." And he kind of puts his arm down.
Will I get a good roll?
Well,
Better than that, probably.
yeah, you do the same thing to him. You actually land him in the same spot.
Next.
To this point, you see a bunch of the drunks. This guy's great. Oh!
We can't lose. Richard's rolling against us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, continuing on, the next person is one of the guards who sits down. He's like, "I swear that you must be. This is rigged. You're like the guy who comes in to clean house, aren't you?" And the guy puts his arm down. Go ahead and make a strength check. This one will...
Afraid not. 8. He's got
Oh my god!
3 natural ones in a row.
Oh,
Three in a
yes.
row.
Third verse, same as the first.
You need to change chairs.
You see, on the gradient, my rolls are right, just a little bit better than Richard's.
So
I mean, 3 natural ones in a row, man.
this is going to turn out to be like a 50-session campaign, and Richard will only ever roll a 1. And we'll be like, yeah, Rise of the Runelords is kind of hard. And we're like, we didn't think so.
No, it's really easy. My 19 AC didn't get hit.
After that experience of another person being thrown to the dirt, the only person that still wants to challenge you is the guy running it, who's this half-orc gentleman who introduced himself as Gorvy. He's like, well, if you beat me, well, I don't think anyone else is going to want to try to fight you, so I think you just win at that point. He puts his arm down to roll. Let's see if I get another natural 1. Oh, no, that'll be an 18.
Ooh.
18. Okay, let's see if I can do it. Nah.
Yeah. This one's a lot harder fought than the last few of them that have been.
Emanuele yells out, "That's not fair. He had to go 4 times in a row."
You know, he does have a point.
Nah, and he just smacks me onto the side. He's like, don't worry. At this point, I think you're still going to be the best bet for winning the most rounds. Most of these people can't win 1, let alone 2.
Just the farmer stands up, his friend comes over, good going, man, and pats him on the back, and the farmer flies through a wall.
I can't believe how bad I've been rolling.
I can't think of
I
how
was
bad you've been
gonna
rolling.
Well, yeah, you rolled 3 1s in a row, but
To be fair,
I've got 8.
attribute tests in Pathfinder are always rough, even at
Yeah.
higher level characters.
Yeah, they're always going to be the lower of things. So the arm wrestling continues with other people, but most of them seem pretty deflated after the experience that was Haldor just flinging people. It's at this point that towards the cathedral side, there are some like circus-like performers that are like juggling. So one of them's juggling a couple swords. One of them's balancing on a just a single like small stick and then juggling some balls into the air. Another one's doing cartwheels, and they're all kind of entertaining the children. Children definitely being given a wide berth to the one juggling the swords.
Cowards.
One gets too close and cuts off an ear.
You have 2. Walk it off.
It's a lucky charm now. Take it.
It's not like we exist in a world with magic.
I think Emanuele would like to do the archery contest.
Yeah. So getting towards it, it has the sign that says the Devil's Hunt, and in like painted on letters on the wood beneath it says, "Do you have what it takes to bring down the infamous Sandpoint Devil? Take a shot and see." And near the lighthouse are these 2 large silhouettes of monstrous winged horses. Each one is positioned 50 feet away from the firing line that they put down.
Right.
There's bullseyes on each one where the horse's heart would be, and there are 4 concentric circles surrounding the bullseye. 2 copper pieces to play. If you hit a bullseye, they tell you that you can win 3 darkwood arrows. If you can hit a bullseye on both of them within 3 shots, they have a special prize that's a secret.
Okay. Does he use? I guess just roll a base attack.
It would just be a ranged attack roll with a bow. So I think you already have a bow. So
You said it's over 30 feet off.
yeah, it's 50 feet away. You for flavor for this, it isn't actually your horn bow. They do have one that they have people use, but even with, I'm just having you roll your own. It's fine.
Sure.
The first one you fire off and it lands straight in the bullseye on the left one. There's a applause of a bunch of different of the hunters and foresters of the town that have been all trying their luck, and
Emanuele turns and bows and waves and turns and bows.
as you wave the second time, you see this red-haired woman kind of just do that weird, like, dainty hand wave, like hi.
He recognizes the royal wave and does a faux tip of the hat to her.
Turning back, the gentleman that's running the game hands you the next arrow. Second of 3 shots. If you can get the second bullseye, you win the secret prize. And you nail it.
So just the opposite of Michael, I roll a 16 and a 17.
Yeah. Like, he's like, what is your name, sir? We have to applaud the champion of this game that has finished in 2 shots what nobody could do in 3.
Indeed. Emanuele Depardieu from Malthum. Excited to see all of you, and for all of you to see me.
A round of applause for Emanuele Depardieu.
No. Depardieu.
Depardieu. And you see a round of applause regardless.
A lot of dust in the air today.
He's going to soak it in. I will sign autographs.
So they bring you a couple small little wooden boxes. One of them's a little nicer than the other. The first one does have the 3 dark wood arrows. The other one has a single arrow in it. They just tell you it is essentially a +1 arrow. And they're like, I'm afraid, though, that those are all the prizes we can give out for you since you absolutely crushed this competition. But we're welcoming for everyone else who wishes to try. And there still are people who keep attempting to do what you did and score 2 bullseyes. This is a good time for... It's around halfway through the day as the free lunch has been set up at the near the cathedral. Long tables have been set up for people to all kind of sit and join in the crowd together.
Yes. This means I won't have to catch another fish.
Emanuele would ask about where the stables are.
They tell you that the stables are near the Rusty Dragon, which, to save the trouble, is the number 38 on the map is the stables. Though they do say that the stables themselves are currently closed in the festival as the owner is currently running some of the games.
Wait a minute. I'm missing something.
Meanwhile, by the church, Fix, hello? Have you seen?
I was on my way to church anyway. I'm just like, oh shit, did you steal that guy's snake?
I think he just pawned it off on me. I was taking it for a spin and go back and he is gone, so I guess I got a new snake now.
I guess so.
Well, you better get ready because that one's a baby.
Those things eat a lot.
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this responsibility that's been thrust upon me. I'll do my best.
Well, my mom always told me that if you want to know if you're ready for a pet, just take your shoe and shred it with a dagger, and if you're fine with that, then you can have a pet. I went through a lot of shoes.
What? I was never ready.
Emanuele's gonna blow his signal whistle. That is the signal to come for the riding snake.
Ephixa, you just feel the snake just lurch forward as it begins to full dash towards the whistle.
Can I try doing a handle animal? Because right now she's probably thinking it's out of control and just trying to
go ahead.
Handle animals.
Opposed handle animal?
Yeah, opposed handle animal.
Oh, that one was way too good.
Meanwhile, Ris'sh is just under a tree and looks up. It's like, what the?
I think he gets like a +8 on his handle animal when he has to roll for his animal companion, so barely.
Okay.
Haldor, casually walking by, goes, "You know where I'm from? They kill the giant snakes."
So
Well, the ones that can't be tamed.
good news is it
What?
doesn't like fling you off as it full dashes.
Mhm.
You're able to keep it at a manageable speed as you're on top of it, but it does.
She starts focusing on, get out of the way, get out of the way.
And you see plainly that it is making its way back to its master.
Oh, you forgot him, and you left me. I'm glad you had a way to bring him back.
Excellent. Thank you for bringing him back. Juan, good job. Good job, boy. And he pulls out the fish that he's just been carrying, I guess.
Over his shoulder this entire
But,
time.
but out of character, in the land of the Linorm Kings, you become a Linorm King when you kill a Linorm.
Is that a big snake?
It's a
It-
snake dragon.
We killed
Yeah.
one of them in our thing, so I guess we're all kings now.
Woo!
I thought we killed an undead one, so does that count?
Well, it's
Wasn't it?
it's one that eats undead.
Ah,
By the way, sir, talking to Haldor, those were mighty fine feats of strength. Do you practice Festivus?
Do I practice what?
It's just a tradition some of the larger northern folk that I know in Malthun used to practice. In the wintertime.
Afraid not. I'm a farmhand by trade. I've been doing that most of my life.
It's definitely made you tough. Very
Of
strong.
course, farming in the lands up north, it's a much different ordeal than down here where it's warm and hospitable.
Indeed, I see you came to your senses and came down to where it's beautiful and the people are beautiful.
Not trying to stay here long. Undoubtedly, it's very beautiful, but it's not home.
At this point, Fix would have made her way off the snake and thanked Emanuele before making her way back towards the cathedral where she started from.
there it is, a resplendent, bountiful lunch. There is food from the best food from every inn, and they're kind of competing with each other to see who is liked better. From the white deer, you have pepper-crusted venison and what is known as Season's Libations, which is a seasonal drink of strong alcohol. It's like that hair on your chest kind of alcohol. You have one known as Ris'sh's place that's serving what's called peppers and pig. That is served with what's known as Tarandarak Reserve, which is a spiced cider that has been every time she brings up the cup to somebody, you see a bluish glow as she chills it with a ray of frost. There is this man that is walking on a peg leg who every time he puts down a bowl of this crab and clam chowder, it like splashes. He's just almost throwing it down. That is served with what he calls old murder maw stout. Though by far the most popular of the entire event is what was being served by the Rusty Dragon, which is a combination of raspberry mead and curried salmon. As like everyone kind of it seems to be a consensus that is the preferred dish of the lunch. The guy who's been kind of handing out the bowls of chowder just like does that way, like spits to the side like bullshit kind of attitude, but he lets it go as he looks over at first Haldor and then at Ris'sh. Like, you two look like very hardy individuals. Have you ever wanted to take part in the Hagfish Challenge?
What is?
Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise, but if you're ever bored and feel like coming down to the old Hagfish down by the docks, we have a little contest that if you can win, you win the prize that has been put in the pot that, no one's won in good 6 or 7 months. I will say, though, you better have a strong stomach if you wish to try it.
I wouldn't mind trying my hand at that, and then he'd
way forward for himself to get a drink, but he would stop her before she chills it with a ray of frost.
She's like, "Oh, sorry, dear. Like your drink's warm, then."
Don't need any of that magic mumbo jumbo going into my drink.
You superstitious northerners. And she kind of hobbles away, this old lady. But it is a very pleasant lunch. You share casual, small talk conversations with some people that are from around town. You meet a couple of the minor, the younger family members of the noble houses of there's the Scarnettias and Valdemar that seem to have come down, though they don't deign to sit and eat with everybody. They have introduced themselves. Ephixa, you see Ilsori, who runs the academy for the children. There's a dark-skinned woman who's dressed in all blue that introduces herself as Jabblesorn to pretty much all the newcomers, talking to them about the news from Magnamar and the such. Some other slightly skeevier-looking people that don't introduce themselves, but kind of look at the food, kind of like rubbing their fingers together. But yeah, it's a nice feast all around. Desserts being held off until the evening celebration, but you can already see the lines of pies being brought out to replace all the plates and food that people have eaten.
I definitely do that thing where I get a plate and just try a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pick one thing. And I think it's safe to assume I probably picks up on the fact that Ephixa is a local by now, right?
Oh, yeah. There'd be people coming by and asking her questions like, how have you been, and the like. I don't really have any good examples right now, but definitely things that people would talk to each other that live in the same town.
I would make small talk for a little bit, but then work around to... So, the last cathedral burned down?
Yes, years ago. Years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Any idea how that happened?
Okay, on Tremeros, it's all shrouded in mystery.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I'm bringing up the tab so I can tell you guys, because I know a lot of it, but I don't want to give out stuff that you're not supposed to know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I'm characters adventure hunting.
Mm-hmm. You're treating me like an NPC as you gather information.
Listen, I've got about 50,000 rusty swords I need to pawn off on you.
So no one really knows how the fire started. They just know that when it caught fire, it spread fast and covered the entire church. From the church prior was a wooden building rather than a stone building. And when it went up, it was during the summer, and with the dry season, and the little moisture in the air, it just caught like a wick and just went up. Most people got out safely, but unfortunately, the previous priest, Father Tobin, and his adopted daughter, Noalia, both perished in the fire. When you guys are talking about this, you see a couple people making some like prayer motions about it, like we don't want to talk about that late unpleasantness about the town. We're trying to make a new start, and like these couple old people are like, yeah, that's what I think too.
I take a bite of some of the peppered meat and say, yeah, no, that's understandable, but I mean, there's a kind of irony to it that you're celebrating building a new cathedral by lighting another fire, though, right?
Wait, lighting another fire?
You said there's a big bonfire at the beach tonight.
Oh yeah, no, like, well, that's why we're doing it at the beach. And
no. Obviously, I'm not criticizing. I'm just.
She makes a fair point.
Awkwardly drinks from alcohol.
You know, we do this at every autumn festival. This isn't a new thing.
No, for sure, but It's all celebrations, right? You can't.
Silly girl. It's lucky you're blessed by the gods. And she hobbles off. Though, if Ephixa and Lucilla, if you want to make me perception checks.
Hey, 16.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for this. It was pretty low, but as she kind of wanders off, from behind Ephixa, you would have noticed with a really low DC as you feel a little bit of tug on your hair, as you see the old woman walking away with a small little bit of your hair. You're used to this at this point.
Yep.
A lot of people in town view Aasimar as good luck, so even having a piece of you essentially is considered a good luck charm. Lucilla, you just saw this old lady walk behind her and cut off a piece of her hair.
This is why I try to keep it tied back, and she would proceed to tie it back.
That seems invasive.
Yeah, you get used to it after several years.
I mean, are you all right with it?
It's not hurting anybody, and if it gives them a sense of confidence, then my hair grows back anyways.
You're all right with it. Seems like a breach in the bubble to me, but it's not me to judge.
So many bubbles for her to break lately.
I like that Lucilla is very personal space person.
Listen, you just reached down and grabbed some person you just met.
Yep.
It's like, here you go. I'm gonna throw you around.
I'm pretty sure that's a halfling pet peeve anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the day goes on with the festival. If anyone wants to do any more games, you can. But otherwise, it has a lot of selling knickknacks, lots of festival food being sold. Someone's even selling almost like a medieval equivalent of cotton candy. Though it is less fluffy and more grainy. But it is very sweet, so the kids go nuts for it.
Fix will go for a thing of cotton candy on her way to play ye old cornhole.
Fun fact, they actually have that game here. Going over there, it is the one being run by the stable owner. Anyone who you see a couple of children getting ready to play the game. The game itself being free to play for this one. And he's like, "Quick! 3 goblins have found their way into your houses and are tearing the place up. Grab them and toss them into the fireplace before they can destroy everything." And the game itself is a simple beanbag toss set up in the middle of the market square. A board is set up with lines of 3 holes. The board is 10 feet from the throw line. The closest hole is a large, the farthest one is a smaller hole. Each of these buckets, there's big old buckets of beanbags that are each handcrafted, sewn little goblin beanbags by each station. With each beanbag having a goblin's name printed on the back. There's stuff like Rust Nugget and Pickle Thief and all that kind of weird fucking goblin names. Flapjacks is one of them.
Filenkov? Is there a Filenkov?
There's a Filenkov. They have it sectioned off for men, women, and children as different boards to throw at. There's no obviously non-proficient penalty or anything. All it is you get if you get all 3 of them into the hole, you win a small bag of what he calls goblin jerky. So more jerky.
Ooh, I got dragon jerky. I could complete the set.
So if you want to come up, it would basically be a d20 plus your dex and your base attack bonus.
Okay. Do I get bonus for guidance or no?
You can, yeah.
All right.
It's basically an attack roll. Is really all it is, but with a ranged.
All right. First one.
Yep. First one just slides in. You doesn't even slide in. You just shot, dunk it, Kobe.
All right. Another Kobe.
One. Yeah, that one makes it in too. The next one is the smallest hole if you try to make it into there.
All right.
And yeah, you're able to make it in there. And as you do, he's like, Fix, I always knew you were a great slayer of goblins to be. Here you go. And he hands you like the jerky. He's like, I have you know it's made from real goblins. Gives you a little wink and hands you another little. He hands you this like carved wooden goblin head with a fake little arrow in its head. Basically, like a little keychain.
Yeah, this should go great with my dragon jerky. And she holds up the other satchel she has of jerky.
Damn it! I told them not to use jerky too. Now everyone's gonna have all
Man, it
kinds of
tastes
jerky.
exactly the same. Who knew goblins and jerk?
Yeah, tasting them both, they both taste just like the same.
She chuckles as she walks away.
Do you imagine making actual jerky out of a dragon?
And you guys had the opportunity.
Yeah, but we were
Times.
evil. We weren't trying to party.
And what was the other item? A goblin head with a.
It's like a little keychain almost looking thing.
Okay.
It's like a really tiny like goblin carved head. Like it's very basic in the likeness of it,
Okay.
and it has like a carving of a little arrow sticking out of its head, like it's been shot.
Okay.
It's just a little toy thing. Yeah. Unless anyone else wants to do anything, we can continue on with the daytime.
I'm gonna go arm wrestling.
Okay. Let's do this.
Be
Every-
like,
there's quite a few chuckles as you make your way up, but there is a woman farmer that comes up to be the first one to challenge you.
what was the buy-in again?
A copper piece.
Okay.
Or I think a copper piece.
Are all these games a copper piece to buy in?
Most of them, some of them are free, some of them are a little more. Like the obstacle course is 3, but you can win 5 if you succeed all.
What was the
checks.
goblin toss?
That one was free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my joke about free-to-play games in the chat. Let's see. How can I cheese this arm wrestling contest? Nah, if I kick them in the shins to distract them, that's likely to get me tossed out. I'll do it straight just for good fun.
Okay, so D20 minus 1 against whatever you roll. That's an 18.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. Quick little show of like.
Actually,
Okay,
it's
begin.
Haldor that.
You flip right into that.
Like yeah, last minute Haldor shows up. Thwap!
Listen,
Doesn't even arm wrestle. Doesn't even
I'm
arm
3
wrestle.
for
Just drops
4.
the people's elbow on her.
Just
But
throws a
regardless,
barrel.
you're quickly out.
Yep.
There's no hard feelings of anyone. Everyone seems to be pretty like happy of the attempt.
All right, 2 copper. One more. Come on. I'm ready this time.
The woman's just like, okay, we'll try again.
I did better.
Hey,
Oh!
you beat her. Like you strain and it's a struggle for a second, but you slam that hand down. Since you won, the next person comes up. This is the drunk fisherman from before who sobered up a little bit. He's like, I'm not going down again. Bring it on. And like he says it's like really uncomfortably close to your face to where you smell the alcohol.
Mhm.
It's like, bring it.
All right.
And just like Haldor, somehow you slam his hand down. He falls out of his seat, face planting into the dirt. He's just like,
You just
God
not good at
damn
arm
it,
wrestling,
I
Richard.
swear I'm stronger than this.
remember,
As his
people,
friend's like, I
don't
know,
drink
buddy.
and arm
As they
wrestle.
begin to drag him away.
Lucilla looks at her hand like, did I do that?
I think that guy's just cursed to never win an arm wrestling competition.
Although, if you do win another one, that means, and then don't win the next one, there will be a tiebreak.
There will. Okay, so this one will be a +1 against whatever yours is.
-1.
Now let's see if you can beat the guy.
See, now I'm just using technique.
Oh, this is awesome.
So this time, like, Well, I didn't think I'd have to do this 2 times in the day, but I guess I'm the one that'll take you on this time. Like, first there's the giant, burly bear of a man, and then there's you. I can't say I'm not impressed because clearly.
Honestly, at this point, I'm equally as surprised as you.
So let's see if you can beat him. This will be a +2. 14.
Nope.
He just slams your hand down a little too hard. He's like, I almost feel kind of bad about that.
No. This is honestly reality reasserting itself to make it better in the world. This is.
He's actually gonna look. Is Haldor anywhere near the arm wrestling area?
What? The last place he was eating. So after that, I think he'd go back to the game area probably.
Yeah.
Just
okay. So
saw the crying guy getting hauled away.
as you see this guy getting hauled away, like sobbing into the dirt as his friends are just dragging him at this point. You see the half-orc guy like, "Oi, big man, we have someone challenging you for your spot as arm wrestling champion. This one's free. Get in here."
Haldor walks over. How tall are you, Gombo?
3 feet.
And Haldor is 6'6" and 280 pounds.
I'm 28 pounds.
And he just looks you up and down and goes, "Really?"
I mean, she beat 3 people. I mean, it took her a couple times the first time, but she did.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know.
Well,
honestly, I just want to
maybe,
see this happen.
Please do it, Lucilla.
maybe you. What do you call it? They don't got many of you up north. Half legs, smallings.
Halfling.
Maybe you're stronger than you look.
Maybe. Now, as we're like saying, now I'll warn you, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can I imagine that when we lock arms, it's like your hand goes almost to my elbow?
Okay, opposing strength checks.
Yeah,
That's right. I was hoping that would have been like opposite, but yeah.
Natural 20.
Yeah, it is a crushing defeat. Lucilla, your arm is rather tired after all this. This is the second time in a row that your hand's been slammed down by someone taller than you. Third time if you count the first loss.
I'm pretty sure that would be like me arm wrestling my 4-year-old.
Yeah. So let me open up the tab real quick so I can look at the rewards. At this point, he's just going to give you the rewards.
That would have been so funny if she had
That
beaten
would've
her.
It would just have been Haldor looking at the ceiling like, I must reassess my worldview.
Yeah, inside I was really hoping for that.
I know.
Okay, yeah, he hands you a flask.
Mhm.
He's like, "No, this is a one-time use thing, but if you're ever stuck in a pickle, this thing here is known as a liquid blade. Open the stopper up and pour it out. It turns into a quick little short blade of equivalent to like a short sword."
Haldor takes it and he looks at it and then he looks at Lucilla and goes, I think you deserve this more. He gives it to you.
Well, thanks. That's neighborly of you. I extend the other hand in a handshake. Lucilla Dalyard, pleasure to meet you.
Haldor Kvalheim.
Oh, you're also not from around here, are you?
Nope, I'm from the kingdoms up north.
Ah, fellow traveler. I'm from the south.
Yep. So, looks like we met in the middle somewhere.
Well, thanks for humaning a little contest for you. How about I get you a drink, just for good sportsmanship?
I'd never turn that down.
Despite how tall you are, then you have a little halfling in you. That would have been hilarious to win, though.
Honestly, that almost sounds like a pickup line
Yeah.
a male halfling would use to like an elf or something. Are you sure you don't have a little halfling in you? No. Would you like to?
That was the third time so far that I've had to keep my mouth shut because I'm trying really hard not to have sexual comments.
The amount of snake jokes that I
You
wanted to make.
literally offered a person you called Pretty Lady to ask if she wanted to ride your snake. I mean, come on.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, somewhere off of the North Sea, Talongard, there's Nasterima sitting in her castle being like, something is wrong in this world.
And I must be part of it.
One of us should have made a character from Talongard.
She just like throws open the shutters to her people. Mount up the fleet. I need to go and search.
No, she just calls Amadeus. I need a travel buddy. Anyway, so when you offer to buy him a drink, this time it's actually getting closer to sunset as you make your way back to the cathedral where most of the drink and food you had. I imagine most of you find your way there, as they said that sunset would be when dessert's happening, and from the smell throughout the town, you can just smell all the pastries and baked goods. As you make your way back, the crowd is abuzz with just like people either wanting to eat or just curious about what's going on at the cathedral. As there is the Father Xantus has gotten up to the podium, the stand area, to try to quiet the crowd, but they're not quieting down as he takes this little stone out of his pocket and looks at it for a second and then hits it on the ground to the sound like of a thunderous strike. And as he hits it onto the ground, it hits like a sharp retort, a crack of distant thunder that slices through the cloud as the sun sets. As the sun's rays paint the western sky, a stray dog is suddenly startled awake by the sound and runs to run out from underneath the wagon that it has been sleeping under. And the buzz of over 24 conversations quickly hushes as the town turns to the podium where the beaming Father Xantus is taking stage. He clears his throat and takes a breath to speak. And as he begins to speak, he doesn't even get a word out. It's just suddenly a woman's scream slices through the air. A few moments later, another scream rises, then another. Beyond them, a sudden surge of strange new voices rise. High-pitched, tittering shrieks that sound not quite human. The crowd parts and something low to the ground races by, giggling with disturbing glee as the stray dog gives a pained yelp and then collapses with a gurgle. Its throat cut open from ear to ear as the blood pools around its head. The sounds of a strange song begin chanting through shrill, scratchy voices in very rough, broken common. Does everyone have their sounds on? Because I'm actually going to play the song.
Yeah.
Did you and Laura record that?
No. I can't carry even that bad of a tune, okay? But yeah, as the sound of what is clear down to be goblins race through the city, people become into a panic and begin running different directions as the guards are trying to muster up a force as they see more goblins in the distance. People are spread thin. People are running like wild. I'm going to take you to a map here. If this is also a good time to take a break if everyone wishes to.
Yeah, I could use a quick bio.
Yeah, I could pee real quick.
I will say, if I'm standing next to Haldor, he's probably the only one that hears Lucilla go, yes! I mean, this is how adventures start.
I'm back. Yeah. Hopefully, some of my long-winded speeches I didn't bore you guys too much.
Oh no, it was great. I will say though, between this and Warhammer, I'm convinced that greenskins just have more fun.
I mean, yeah. I mean, my favorite races are orcs, goblins, kobolds.
I do like the idea that kobolds are actually as long-lived as elves. They just keep dying for other reasons.
I feel like my headcanon for kobolds, since they don't really have like a reason why they die at such a young age, is they just mature fast and they're very stupid when they're young, and they just don't get old enough to be wise or smart.
Yeah, because in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, they're described as being intuitive master trap makers. So they're not like dum-dums. They're just they worship dragons and then dragons abuse them.
Oh man, is Ris'sh gonna eat the goblins?
That's vile. Very good for scales. Yes.
Let's see here.
I mean, I ride a snake, and my favorite food is escargot, so I ain't gonna judge you.
Snakes and snails aren't in the same animal family.
Although I think Ris'sh may judge me.
Are we all back?
Goblin fighting.
I think maybe we're
She's
missing
already forgotten your name and has decided to call you Shine Tooth, but
I think it
other
works.
than that, she hasn't really thought about you.
Wait, who's Ris'sh calling Shine Tooth?
Emanuele de Pada.
Man, it must be hard to say his name for Ris'sh because there's no S's in it. While we're waiting for Loki, I think go ahead and move your tokens wherever you want to be placed on this area. This is like the little ceremony area.
Food cart.
I don't have control of my tokens.
You don't? Let me
No.
fix that. It says represents character Emanuele Depardieu.
I did on the other screen.
Have you guys control?
Let me
the character
refresh.
sheet? And the next step is to make sure you've got the selection icon on. Okay.
Okay, now it's working. I refreshed.
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Okay, yeah. I was looking into it, and I probably should just decide which one of the kingdoms Haldor is from. Make that a lot easier.
Which one?
I don't know, I need to read them and decide.
Oh, okay. Thought you said you had. The music stopped. If Richard, you wanted it going on.
Oh, yeah. It was going on for me, but
Yeah, I was here now. Sometimes when you refresh, you lose it.
Oh crap! I'm just gonna
Here.
log back in.
you not hear it?
No.
I hate
We're
it
still
when I'm
waiting on Loki anyway.
I hate it when I'm the GM and that happens because the music helps get me in the zone.
It does. I'm sorry that I haven't had my music up loud enough to hear in past games. There we go.
Yeah, it's a different one now.
I can't remember which one was which.
I think you were on 2 last time.
Yeah. Trying to remember which one I got this one from.
Yeah, it sounds like a like an arcade brawler level theme, and I do not mean that as a bad thing.
No, this is definitely from an RPG.
Y'all should have seen me earlier before we started playing. I'm glad no one could see me actually because the music was on my computer, but I was in the other room listening on my phone, and I thought my phone was ringing because it sounded a lot like my phone, but I was like, I'm holding my phone. It is clearly not ringing. And then I walked into another room and I thought, are the neighbors playing music? And then I stepped out here where I have windows on all sides, and I walked over to one side and I looked out. I walked over to the other side and I looked out. And I walked over to the other side and it got louder because I was right by my computer and I was like, damn, I'm an idiot.
So are you back, Gombo? Or not Gombo, Cope? Are you re-logged in and everything?
Yeah, I'm back up.
Okay. So
And I
I'll
heard-
go ahead and open up initiative as, ironically coming from underneath the food cart and near that direction, you see a bunch of goblins poke their way out. This one's in the wrong spot. Hold on. It's coming from right here.
There it is. Hey!
I'll mark these with some icons. Which turn is which? I forgot to make my initiative macro. So I'll just add them manually for now.
I know I've played the game that first battle theme was from. This one,
I
not
have
so
too.
much, but
I know it's gonna bug me too now that I played it and I can't remember what I got. I literally downloaded it from.
I literally.
Is initiative built into these sheets?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's at the top of the main page.
just under hit points.
And just don't forget to click your token, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Can anyone send me the link for the initiative macro button?
I honestly always forget what it is. I just keep copying and pasting.
I'll look it up later. It's not too much of an issue right now. Like after the game, I'll just look it up. It'll be easier. But first up is Lucilla. As you're over by the food cart, as this is all happening, a bunch of goblins come up really close to you.
Okay. First things first. Gonna put a little space in between there. Somehow that was 8 feet? I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, it's on 2 feet squares.
I just assumed that was like 4 spaces.
Yeah.
That is weird. Hold on. It's gonna let me change it. There we go. And should be correct now.
Yep. Okay,
That
cool.
that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the only map I'm looking at all my other maps. All the rest of them are fine.
That's strange. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Bardic Performance Naturalist. So I need to succeed a knowledge roll against these goblins. Now, according to the knowledge skill, they would be humanoid, which is knowledge local for some reason, unless you want me to roll something else.
No, that's acceptable. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, so I believe it's DC 10 plus their CR.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now. But
Are they humanoid? Isn't goblinoid a different sub thing?
for common monsters, the DC is 5 plus the monster CR.
Oh, or they're not. Oh, so 5 plus the monster CR. That's even better.
Yeah, they're not a. Yeah, they're a common issue like goblins.
Gotcha. So they're either humanoid or monstrous humanoids. I don't
They're
know.
humanoid. It's
Yeah.
got
Okay.
a subtype of goblinoid.
So come on, Gombo needs a new pair of shoes. Hey, 18.
Easily beats the DC. You know these
yeah.
are goblins 100%.
So recalling some knowledge that she's read about goblin pack tactics native to this region, because naturally before she came here she spent some time in the university library. She begins calling out how they move, and basically what this does is that everyone within 30 feet of me will get +1 insight bonus to AC, attack rolls, and saving throws against any extraordinary or supernatural or spell-like abilities these goblins have. So AC and attack go up by 1.
Just not the damage.
Just not the damage. But you're harder to hit, so including me, and that's my standard action to get that going.
No worries. Goblin's turn. The one
Oh,
next to Haldor.
Probably pull out my whip though.
No worries. The one next to Haldor grabs a pie off the table, and since you have not moved, this is going to be against your flat-footed touch AC. As he's going to try to hurl the pie into your face. As soon as it lets me roll.
Wait, so my flat-footed or my touch AC?
I think it's flat-footed touch.
It's both. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
both. So 10. That's
Technically
every bonus.
11 because you have that +1 AC from Lucilla.
Oh yeah.
So you are blinded until you take a move action to clear the pie from your face. This one here, though, is just gonna start grabbing food from the table and just start shoving it into his pockets. Ris'sh, you're up.
Medicat. And then her limbs are going to start glowing with the golden arcane signals, kind of stream up to her body, and the scales on her back grow larger and more stronger looking. There's words. There's words. There's words for this. Grows into more of a ankylosaurus type shell on her back.
I'm relaunching the game. I had to refresh real quick. Sorry.
And then I'm going to move up to them as soon as I apply this buff to myself.
No worries. Like I said, I'm loading up anyway, so.
Yep.
Sam, it's been a while since we just fought straight up goblins, huh?
I know. That
But
comment.
that is a move and a standard, so. Yep. Comment was.
I said that little comment I put in the chat was for you calling me a nerd, Cope.
Oh yeah.
I did so happen to watch Last Crusade like day before yesterday.
Yep. He says that while all the pretty girls are watching him teach, right before Marcus walks in.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it.
Your turn was done, right, Kenneth?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a move and a standard.
God, I love those movies.
Coop said I've seen it a couple of times.
I forgot your name is the wrong name on here still.
Yes.
There you go.
That'd be the one on the sheet usually.
I had made this token before they changed their name, so.
Yep. So, despite having scimitar sheathed on her side, she's going to draw her light shield and move up and just bash, saying, "Go, get out of here!"
Go for it. That'll hit.
For 1 damage.
And this doesn't provoke or anything, right? You have the
No.
shield bash feat.
You don't need shield bash to use shield bash. It just takes away from the AC
AC of
bonus.
it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember how the details work with that, so
Yep.
figured I'd ask the person who's building it. Yep. Just smack this one across the face as he was busy stuffing his face and pockets full of food.
Mm-hmm.
Emanuele.
Right, Emanuele will shout out some combat advice to Haldor. You're going to want to get the pie out of your eyes, but swing hard at their waist. And you will get a +2 on your next attack roll against this guy. And that was his move action. And then he is going to fire at this one over here. But he's going to have his snake.
It's going to have partial cover, so it'll have a +2 AC.
He was going to reposition a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay.
No more Parch Cove.
And actually, he's going to move up a little bit further. 45, 50, 30. One more. Well, screw it. He'll shoot from there. I don't want to crowd everybody in.
Awful lot of nitpicking for people in fireball distance.
If one of these goblins throws a fireball at us, I think we got a lot more to worry about.
The campaign ends.
Subtract 1 from that attack and from that damage. He's not in point blank shot range.
No worries, that hits is just arrow shoots him in the shoulder. Still up, but he's not happy about the situation. Haldor, your face is covered in pie. Blueberry to be exact.
Yeah, he can't see. He's just got a pie thrown in his face. Emanuele is yelling orders at him. I think he's getting pretty pissed off.
Is he just going to swing?
No, so he wipes the pie out of his eye, and then he's going to go into a rage. Okay.
Haldor mad.
Yes, sir. So he is going to smash through the cart onto this goblin right here with his greatsword, and he's going to power attack.
I believe you have a +3 total to this. 1 for my bardic, and then 2 from Emanuele.
Well, what kind of bonuses are they both? Because we do have to remember that.
Inspiration for me.
Competence for me.
Okay.
Nice.
It's actually a
We're
+4
gonna make
bonus.
We're gonna make Haldor the mightiest warrior ever.
It's a +4 bonus because of axe to grind. It's because, or that's the damage. So I get a +1 to damage from axe to grind. I just looked at it again. I thought it was to hit. So yeah, +3.
To attack, +1 to damage.
So total +7 to attack.
I'm a little. Oh, it's down here. I see where you're supposed to edit it. But I didn't.
Where do you apply buffs? I see buff at the top, but is that where
it
you apply?
says temporary attack, damage, melee damage.
Oh, I see it now. That's much better.
Yeah, underneath all your attacks that you have listed.
I didn't do that, so that was a net +2, so that's like 20.
Yeah, so
for 13 damage.
So you, true to your word, you just bring your greatsword down and cleave this goblin in two, as his remains cover his friend and then split off to the other side, ruining any food that was on the table. But at this point, I don't think that's any of your concern.
That wasn't the crab soup, was it? That was very fine.
Other goblins are gonna go. They are very concerned, but let's see. Are too excited to care. So this one's gonna go up to Haldor.
Did they just come for the festival as well, and we're just attacking them?
This one's gonna go for Ephixa. So
goblins aren't people yet.
This one's the dog slicer against Haldor. So that will hit you for 6 damage.
Yep.
The other one is going to swing at Ephixa for 18 for 3 damage. So both of these goblins got some good hits in.
Don't forget your +1 AC from my boost.
Oh, so no, that will miss Ephixa then. So, Loki, you didn't lose any health because your AC is technically 19 right now.
No, because I used my shield, so it's 1 less. So it
so it balances out.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No worries then. Lucilla.
Okay. Does Ris'sh look like she's going in to get mixed up in the fray?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me measure this out. There we go. I'm gonna move here, and I will perform an aid another as a standard action against. Well, I guess it's technically helping Risha, but thematically,
you just have to be within range of whichever they're targeting. So that one or this one would still be in.
Beauty of a whip is that I've got 15-foot range for aid another.
Oh, nice.
So I just have to hit an AC of 10 with my whip attack. And just to be clear, you said that you could use you could use Dex for attack, but not for damage if it's a finesse weapon. Cool.
Basically, weapon finesse is free.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, show me 10 or better. Hey!
So that's an aid another, not an attack, though, right?
That's it's only one roll. I mean, it would have done 1 damage non-lethal anyway, so it's better than aid another.
Still, you snap him right on the nose.
Yeah. It's I crack the whip like by its ear or on its ear, so it doesn't really do damage, but it's very distracting.
Especially for these things, they have big ears.
Mm-hmm.
Flick the earring right off it.
This one here got interrupted trying to grab some food. Is going to swing at the one that smacked him with the shield. And will miss.
So that's an extra 2 on my attack.
And it
yes,
is
an extra
going
2.
to, because it's not smart, 5 foot right over here.
It's
Yeah, you saw your friend get exploded by the 6'6" Viking.
and fun fact, Aid Another is an untyped bonus, so it stacks with everything.
And Aid Another stacks with Aid Another.
Yep. And so currently you're going to get +3 on your next attack roll just from me.
Yep. So 5 foot step up and let her rip.
Make sure you take even track of all the rounds per move things for like it's your bardic thing.
I'm 2 out of 7 down.
So this is a 5 foot and full attack. So first one will hit, second one will miss, third one will hit.
Grand total of 5, but hey.
Yep. I mean, he's not liking it, but he's about as up as his other friend over by Ephixa is. They're both pretty wounded.
3 attacks at level 1.
Fix.
Now, after taking that hit, she's going to shrug and draw her sword, fully expecting it to be a blunted, show sword, and take a swing at the goblin.
What, you're surprised you have a real sword?
Yeah.
Cool.
She's just a priestess. She's just wearing, Sarenrae garb.
Yeah, the blade gleams in the light of the sun as you bring it down.
And would
Sarenrae personally sharpened it.
Sarenrae be praised.
It will be personally aghast that it's actually cut through the creature.
Oh, that's great.
Cuts him right down the torso. Doing anything else, or are you just gonna stay there?
Stay there.
Okay.
My AC.
Emanuele.
Emanuele will direct Juan over to here. And again, Haldor, you're not going to be as good with that pie in your face. Giving him another 2 plus.
You wiped
2.
it off last round.
Hit the one on top of the cart, and you'll get a +2 to attack on this one. And then he's gonna fire at this guy using covering fire. Say, don't worry about the one behind you, and if I land it, you'll get a +2 to AC against that guy. This is...
Don't forget your +1s.
Oh, yeah? So a +3 to AC against that guy. So this is point blank shot and deadly aim.
I'm just excited. This is my first buff character. So.
Oh yeah, you bring this one down in a single blow.
Don't worry
Right
about the
between
one
the
behind
eyes.
you. He's gone now. But you do get a +2 against that guy.
Okay. For a total of +3.
Haldor, there's one single goblin standing, and you are seeing red.
Yep. I'm not the only one targeting him, so I don't get the extra damage. And then I get +3.
Yeah, +3 to hit. 2 from Emanuele, 1 from me.
Okay, that brings me up to a +10 while I'm raging.
Jesus.
These goblins didn't stand a chance.
Woo! Team support!
Just wind him up and watch him go.
Yeah, you just flat of the blade, punt this guy across the room. Or lack of room.
But yeah, just both of those hits just split them in half. One hit. And then I'm going to come down from raging. I forget if you have to roll a thing for that.
I don't think so.
No, you're staggered, I think, or something for a little bit of time after.
I'm going to use Heart of the Fields.
That's a solid one to have. Yeah.
Funnily enough, that wasn't like a min-max thing. I wrote this guy's backstory before I built him, and he just happened to have been a farmer.
Yeah. Felt good. So as you finish these goblins off, the town is abuzz with combat. You see the guards in different alleyways running back and forth, goblins swinging at goblins. However, you do, if you want to all roll me perceptions.
Yep. Shamow. 18.
23.
So yeah, you're all able to see it, and so you're not surprised by it as you see a wagon to the south, which is this one right here. Just erupt in engulf in fire as you see a group of goblins like come out from the sides of it, grinning with like licking blood off their blades, as another one it continues singing the goblin song from behind. Go ahead and reveal them.
You know, in retrospect, making entire carnival games demeaning goblins might have been a provoking gesture.
Just a tad.
That's a good point, Lucilla. Like to be inclusive, even of those I kill, apparently.
So yeah, initiative again, as the
Looks around
goblins just
with the
immediately
mouthful
rush.
of goblin.
Oh yeah, I actually speak goblin too. See,
I rolled better, but so did everyone else.
Here's the crazy bit I've just noticed here. Manfred had a +12 to initiative, and Lucilla has a +3. Yet she's so far gotten higher than Manfred's average initiative roll. What the hell?
Yeah, you had bad luck rolling initiative.
I don't know. I missed that half level and 5 + 5 from Dex to initiative.
I guess just power of positive thinking for a good aligned PC. So I have neutral good? I could have sworn I
So again, Lucilla, it's your turn first again.
Okay. Do you need me to do another knowledge roll?
No.
For goblins? Okay.
It's been the equivalent since the last fight, I'll say, of like a couple rounds. So you will have to start it back up again.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to start it back up again. I was just thinking. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually not gonna start it yet. Is I'm actually gonna run. Oh, I can only move 20 feet. I'm gonna run here, and then I will use. Total defense, which total defense normally boosts your AC by how much? Because I've got a feat that says it increases it to 2.
I
Plus
think
4, I think.
4. Yeah.
Okay. So then my AC will increase by 6 then.
Yeah, because fighting defensively adds a 2, but you get a -4 to your attacks.
I have a cautious fighter. It says when fighting defensively or using total defense, dodge bonus to AC increases by 2.
Nice.
So I figured because the goblins are going to move in and all of our formation will be staggered. So instead, I just lock myself up to have 21 AC. As I'm just dodge Nathan Drake / Indiana Jones rolling to avoid any attacks that come towards me.
You just start rolling in place and...
Listen, I'm like 3 feet tall. I can do rolls within a 5-foot square.
That's very fair.
So goblins, true to form, are just gonna not care and move up to attack you. This one's just gonna be able to get to here, and he's going to. He's going to go to double move to get to here. So the one that's going to attack you, 20.
That'll miss just by 1.
Yep.
Little help here, guys.
Emanuele.
All right. So he is going to give advice to Lucilla because you have to be engaged in combat.
That's such a waste.
Yeah, but at least I can.
Yeah, I know.
All right, and then move 1 over here, and he is going to fire at this one. Where'd my sheet go? And do we still have the +1?
No, I didn't start my performance back up.
Okay, so make that a 0. Did it take it off? Yes. Okay. $15.
15. Which one are you aiming for?
This guy.
Yeah, that'll hit. 13 just pops him right in the head and goes down without a fight. Jeez, guys, I said not to optimize your characters.
Hey, if that attack had hit me, it would have been half my hit points.
No,
So-
you're fine. They're goblins. They go down pretty fast and hard.
Mhm.
Other goblins are going to go. I go here. I'm going to take a double move to get over to here to you because you're the closest person, but can't do anything. This one's going to make a climb check to try to get up to here, which will just be a 20 plus 2. Yeah, good, easy enough. It was only like a 10. But it would take double moves. We're just going to get up here and just start jeering and taunting at all of you.
Mhm.
Haldor.
Michael, you're muted if you're saying anything.
I'm going to charging power attack this one.
Go for
So
it.
that'll be a net +1. Then is there any of that? Then I'll have -2 until the start of my next turn for AC, and my damage will be increased by +2. Great sword.
That one will miss.
You win some, you lose some.
I mean, you've been cleaving these guys solidly with a single blow each time, so.
Mhm. Which feels right.
Yep. Ris'sh.
Mm-hmm. Still don't feel like they're worth a spell, but I'll move up and claw at this one.
That will just hit for 2 damage. This guy's turn. He's gonna go here. Gonna look at Haldor, and only people who speak in Goblin know what he's saying,
I do.
as he's basically saying something along the lines of, "You're looking cleaner than I do. I need you to make a will save against hideous laughter."
All right.
I think raging doesn't that increase your will save?
I'm not raged right now. I came
Oh.
down from it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it usually does. Will save. Still trying. Okay, so this is a D20, I guess. But
Well,
pretty good.
You nail it. So yeah, you don't understand the language, so you don't find it funny. Exactly. Oh. And then yeah, Ephixa.
Am I able to charge or no? Because you can't charge. Can you charge through allied squares?
That's a special class
Yeah.
thing I remember
Okay.
reading.
It's also a feat, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Then. Yeah,
I think
she'll-
it's dragon style. Lets you charge
Okay.
through.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. Then she'll just go in and attack.
That one will miss.
All right.
You're still trying to come to grips with the fact that somebody gave you a real sword.
Yeah, very. Like I don't wanna.
Lucilla.
Does that +2 that you gave me apply to combat maneuver checks as well, or just attack rolls?
I think I gave you the +2 to AC. Oh wait, yeah. Let's see what it says. Ally gains a +2 competence bonus on her next attack roll against that enemy.
Okay, so not combat maneuvers then. That's totally fine. Instead, I'm going to 5 foot this way, as like a dodge roll, and I will resume my naturalist bardic performance to give everyone their AC and attack boosts. Does the first round that you start a bardic performance count?
What do you mean?
I believe so.
Okay,
As soon as you started, they take effect to everybody, I think.
Yeah, okay. I was just meaning for like how many rounds per day. I've never played a bard before, so I'm just...
Yeah, you'll basically enact it, and then that round it'll take one of your per day uses.
Gotcha. All right, so then that's my movement and standard. I don't have any swifts yet, so...
No worries. Eventually, your performance will become swift.
And eventually I'm going to get the swift aid feat as well.
Nice. This goblin is going to swing at Haldor.
Plus 1 to his AC.
Good.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, natural 1. He just whiffs it. I'm going to say his dog slicer breaks in 2.
So that's Inspire Courage you're using.
It's a variant, Inspire Courage, basically.
Yeah.
It's from the Archivist.
Yeah, so it gives attack, AC, and save rather than attack and damage.
Yep. Which I think is a pretty fine trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to succeed knowledge rolls against the creatures I'm doing it with, so there's a possibility that I can't apply it to everything if I fail a roll. That's why I have
Anyway.
Emanuele is going to say, Haldor, there, give room to the others and attack that one. And you'll have a +2 if you attack her. And he's going to move to there and fire at this guy sitting by himself.
Go for it.
And we've got a +1 now.
if you're within 30 feet of me. Which
It was when you
are
cast it.
not.
Do you have to stay within
You have
30?
to stay within. Yeah.
It's a radius, not a spell.
Okay, that's a learning moment.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep, that will miss. This time in a non-goblin voice or a goblin language, the guy just chimes out, "Watch where you're shooting, punk."
What? How dare you call me that?
Behind the mountain of a man, Haldor, you hear a halfling ghost go, "Oh shit, this one's got sass." You just could not see her at all.
Right.
This one's gonna run and jump down to here to attack you, Lucilla. The other one's going to target Ris'sh.
AC 16 currently.
So that will miss you.
Whew.
And this one again is Ris'sh. I think we'll miss. Yep. Haldor, you got your pick.
All right, I am. That one, I can tell that one just the magical one targeted me with magic, right?
Yes.
Okay, gonna enter a rage again. So that'll be +2 to attack damage. And then another +1 from your bardic performance, right? To attack.
Mm-hmm. Attack.
Alright. And then I'm going to power attack to up that damage to +3. And then I will attack this one next to Lucilla.
Aw, defending your friends.
Oh, you only get the +2 against this guy that Emanuele pointed out.
Yeah, but that was for Lucilla, wasn't it?
No, that was...
You
No,
didn't
this
get
round
the
it was for Haldor.
He pointed out one of the other enemies, so that was before that
I
one
missed
ran
that.
over to the
Yeah.
buffing bard who can't fight.
Yeah, no. And plus,
I can
how
trip.
likely are you to follow Emanuele's instructions?
True. So that is a natural one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you just swing and got dangerously close to Lucilla, but you're in a rage, so you don't notice it, and I imagine she notices you were swinging for the goblin still.
Mm-hmm. It's reasonable.
Ris'sh.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get flanking on this bitch. And up that to 3 and full natural attack. Huzzah.
So that's a total of 7 damage. which will bring this one down. I'm just going to go ahead and move him so he's not cluttering the field. He is down.
Since it was the bite that finished him off, I imagine she kind of clamps down around his neck and snaps it.
Yeah. Some nice tasty treats. This guy, looking at all his other goblin friends going down, he's like, ugh, turns it to his Emanuele. Let's try this one. What do you call a goblin with an injured leg? A hobbling goblin. Go ahead and give me a will save, Emanuele. He's doing another hideous laughter.
That's just a pun.
Oh, yeah, no one's appreciating his comedy.
I would call him Steve. I knew a goblin with one leg named Steve.
He is going to go around for partial cover.
A shadow falls over Emanuele's face. He died too.
Ephixa.
Alright, going to move up this way
Steve with the
Here's
goblin.
his other leg.
and make an attack.
Hey, flanking.
Yep.
And +1.
Net +3. That hits him for a good 6 damage.
Yeah.
Still not feeling good. Lucilla.
I'm a move action, pull out my short sword, and I'm gonna stab him.
Go for it. I forget, pulling out a weapon doesn't provoke, does it?
No.
No. It just, I don't have quick
It's been a
draw.
while.
I
It's
believe
a
it's
move action, but that doesn't matter at this point.
yeah, because maintaining my bardics are free, and move, yeah.
Yeah. Lucilla, you got a kill.
Yep, just, he spins and I just knife him.
Like he's turning to attack Ephixa after she slashed at him, turns around, you just stab him right in the side. These goblins. This one is going to go ahead and try to attack Haldor. And we'll miss terribly. And just back to Emanuele.
All right. Again, he'll give Haldor some good advice. Haldor, swing a bit lower, my good chap. And then he will have Juan move up here. And does this guy have cover?
Yes, he does have partial cover. So it'll be a +2, I believe, for his AC.
All right. He's still gonna. Now he gets the +1.
If he was a medium creature, he wouldn't because you're on a mount, but since he's
Yeah.
small,
That's why I ask.
That
So,
was lucky.
pew pew.
it doesn't matter because that still hits. Although he's a little more durable than the others, he is still up. These goblins are gone. I can go ahead and take them off the turn order. Haldor.
All right. Well, I am just going to move here to get flanking.
Mm-hmm. As you do. Although,
Yes, sir.
I think that still
Yeah.
provokes, so.
Does
All
it?
right.
Because it's not like
Yeah, it
5e
does.
where.
Oh, right.
Yeah, 5e you can move all within their range, but if you move more than 5 feet in Pathfinder, you get an attack of opportunity.
All right. You can just throw that attack then, because I still want to be there. I'm not
It's
really
still
worried
going to miss
about it.
anyway.
All
I'm just
right,
trying to
so-
remember. I'm trying to remember all the rules because we've been playing 5e for a while, and high level
Flank.
Pathfinder where it doesn't
High
really
level
matter.
Pathfinder, you ignore so much.
Flanking is +1, right?
Two.
+2.
And then +1 for my bardic.
It's 4.
And
And
+2.
so
for-
+5 total. Yeah.
So I'm at my +10 now again. So I'm gonna hit a power attack this time, guys.
I mean, you have to roll really bad to not with +10.
Yeah. Well, now it's a +9 because I'm power attacking. But
Either way,
great sword. 17
Oh, yeah.
for 15.
just slash him in half.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us creating this super teamwork-centric party.
Well, snapping around, seeing where that one went, and seeing it kind of peeking out from behind the stage.
His little ears are peeking up.
He's over there, fellas.
Scramble up over the stage and attack him. With the claw.
That will miss.
Ah,
The claw.
the claw. Yeah, that's a move and attack, so it's his turn, I believe.
Gonna 5 foot over here. He's all wounded and he's looking like, okay, one of you have to find these funny. What do you call a vampire goblin? A hemo goblin. And he's gonna make a will save against Ris'sh.
I respond in Goblin. I feel like that would go over a few people's heads.
That actually fails. Somehow it connected with Rish's reptilian brain. So you fall prone laughing.
It sounds funnier in Lizardfolk.
He's like, ha! Success!
No, you see, because the word for goblin is actually really close to the word for vampire in Lizardfolk.
So it sounded like vampire, or goblin.
Or hemoglobin.
Yes, Cope, that is the actual joke.
So that's round per level.
Yes, I believe so.
6.
You're not helpless, but you're on the ground prone.
So about 1-2 rounds. Of laughter.
It will be 2 rounds.
Okay.
Now I desperately want to see a crocodile laugh.
If you're speaking Loki, I can't hear you.
Oh. Yeah, okay. I shall go and just double move to behind. And
Oh, hi.
That's a double move, so.
No worries. Lucilla?
Okay, this is kind of a cool thing I want to do, is I wanted to, Haldor has a greatsword, right?
Yep.
I want to use my small side and maybe an acrobatics roll to run up his greatsword and then jump off of his shoulders, so that way I could get onto the stage.
Yeah, that's cool. Just allow that.
Okay.
I don't want to make you roll. He's so big, and he's just like the way he carries it and stuff. So
yeah, I run up the flat of the greatsword and then use his shoulders as springboard, do a front flip, land here, and then ran over here. And I am going to use my 15 foot of reach on my whip to trip him.
Okay.
No bonus from anything. However, this normally would provoke an attack of opportunity. I am just too far away for that. So come on.
I mean, question. You can attack of opportunity with a whip, right? Because that's what he has.
Only within 5 feet, unless you've got a whole slew of feet. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, you're fine.
Come on, show me a good one. Oh.
Unfortunately, that won't trip him.
I was gonna say have a nice trip. Oh well, everyone's still got their performances.
Yeah, keep that in your back pocket.
Well,
Emanuele, he's not
dead.
close enough to the thing anymore to have cover, so you're fine now.
Yeah, but is he? Oh no, he's not prone. Sorry.
Nope.
All right.
Ris'sh is the one that's prone.
When he fires this, he'll say, "He'll stay down from my arrows," and you'll Ephixa if he hits. You'll get a +2 to defense.
Okay.
And he'll also say, "But stab him in the belly," and you'll get a +2 regardless to attack.
That'll bring him low and down. He had 2 hit points remaining. That brings him below his con, so he is super dead.
Man. So,
bringing this one down, he's like, at least one of you laughed.
As a man dedicated, or a goblin dedicated to his jokes.
But yeah, as the fighting has been continuing, while yours has, Ephixa, eventually you see Father Xanthus running towards you guys. and he's like very out of breath. He's a lot older than pretty much anyone here for sure. He's like, oh, are you all okay? Oh, there's so many goblins.
I'd like to think Ris'sh is still laughing and slapping her fat tail on the stage.
Oh, your lizard friend's delirious.
I think she's just having a good time.
Is anyone hurt?
Dusty.
Little banged up, but not too bad.
Hold on a moment, and he gets within the middle of you guys, and he is going to channel energy.
Ooh.
Nice.
See how Haldor feels about this.
And all the goblins rise from the
No, they're all super dead.
Mistakes were made. Oh god.
So yeah, everyone will heal for 8 if you have any missing health.
Entirety of my hit points.
He's like, you all need to stay safe. I don't know how many goblins there are, where they're coming from.
Where do you know where we could go to help?
And he's like thinks for a moment. I heard some extra commotion north, just east of the White Deer, towards our north gate. There was a noble up there that was gallivanting around earlier. I haven't seen him, and if they're coming from anywhere, I imagine from the north.
Okay. Are the children okay?
They're fine. Ilsori has warded up a doorway and held them side of the house, so they should be fine.
Okay.
Do you have a fatigued icon, Richard?
I don't know. It's alphabetical, I think, so. Right?
Oh yeah, the battery is exhausted.
Oh yeah, the battery is
Ruffles, fatigued.
After the game, I'm gonna ask you for your rage and prone icons. I really like those.
I mean, I got them from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't have the rage
I
one.
posted a while back.
Oh, maybe I missed it.
Yeah, the one I've been putting on is actually the antagonized one, but I've just been using it as rage because it's that.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, there's the strongman way at the bottom. It's Barbarian Rage, but that one works too.
Let's see.
Way at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. I'll use that one now.
Anywho.
He gives you that information, and he does see some fighting continuing elsewhere. So he's like, "Okay, you should be safe. Just try not to get hurt or killed out there. Keep these people safe." And he runs off toward the fighting, trying to keep whoever can alive.
You heard the man. Let's go.
Good packlet hunt.
Yeah. Come on, if there's more of them, there's more we can do. This is what I'm here for.
You knew the attack was coming.
Well, no, not this specifically. But, listen, I don't think now's the time.
Indeed, everyone, forward, north.
So as you head northward, here and there, the sounds of battle, clanging swords, and calls of support by the town guard, shrieking and singing goblins echo through the streets. But the festival itself, the area you're in, most of the civilians have fled. You see a couple goblins as you're making your way that seem to be just scavenging for food, but many lie dead. Unfortunately, a few citizens do as well. Although as you're about to turn to fight the goblins that you see there, you hear the sounds of screams and frantic barking coming from the north. As you make your way just near the White Deer, you see a goblin wielding a much larger sword than the others have been, mounted on top of a very disgusting and pockmarked dog, who has just cut down another dog as a nobleman. You can't see him quite where you are, but you hear him from the other side of the building, is screaming out for help. Let me grab your tokens and I'll switch you over.
Indeed,
Were
good
there-
sir. We'll be right there. Emmanuel Depardieu on the way.
How
I
many,
love the amount of emphasis you put at the end of that every
Oh,
time.
don't forget you healed 4, Michael.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 8. You're back up to 4.
Or 8, yeah, sorry.
All right. How much time has passed?
You're not fatigued anymore or anything.
Less than an hour, I would hope, but
I'm just changing maps real quick.
I got 3 more rounds of rage today.
I got 2 more buttons.
Don't worry, they're just goblins.
I mean, you say that.
they'll get crafty.
But
Should
Emmanuel
always be on
is
guard.
way ahead of anybody else.
So as you, damn it, hold on, let me clear my throat real quick.
No problem.
But as you come onto the scene, which you guys can position yourselves however you like, as long as you're basically behind this line right here.
Schmidt. Close to the front, but not the actual front.
Yep. Dang it.
A good general leads from behind.
Yep, you see the goblin mounted on top of his dog, as well as a few other goblins and another one of those war chanters. As the goblin on the dog turns, he speaks in Goblin, which I think only Lucilla knows, unless anyone else does, and they haven't spoken out.
Yeah, the language character.
He's like,
I'm gonna put lots of levels into linguistics.
he just like licks the blood of the dog off of his blade, and he's like, long shanks and a ugly halfling. So we're going to go ahead and
Initiative.
Yep, give me 1 second. I'm just initiative.
That's the worst initiative roll I've had all day, and it's still good.
That's the best initiative roll I've had all day.
Charge is double speed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does this bush count as difficult terrain?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, first up is Ephixa.
Right.
And FYI, I will not count them as flat-footed for this first turn, since they did see you coming.
Mhm.
You weren't really being subtle about it and everything.
Okay.
Sure.
But does Ephixa know where the noble is, or?
Yeah, you can still hear him like crying and whimpering out. He
Okay.
is over this way.
All right, then she'll go in. Well,
Oh, I see you.
5, 10, 15. Yeah, I'll go here. Double move.
No worries.
Say, turn back now. Blood blood no longer needs to be shed here.
Gotcha.
Right.
Haldor, I think you take exception to that comment.
No, that.
Yeah, Haldor. I mean, goblins aren't people,
Not yet.
right?
Pathfinder 2E, they become people, and then they cease to be people in Starfinder. So, nah.
Oh, when we play Starfinder, I'm gonna be a space goblin. I don't
Yeah, I
give a
know.
shit.
Richard,
It's just-
can you add me to, or give me a spot? Apparently, it didn't work when I had my token. I think I might have had the snake or something.
No.
Okay, let me just
That's
descend
a tough one.
again.
So I guess I'm just gonna go and charge that one.
No worries. Easy enough to do.
+2. No other buffs right now, right?
I don't believe so. Just a charge because you
No,
haven't raged yet.
And I haven't started any. I don't really performances. I just state facts. Oh, nice.
But you still smack the fuck out of that one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You don't.
We don't need to
none of-
fight
none-
anymore.
None of you see where this goblin went. You just see a mess of blood where he once stood.
A blood pool.
A fountain of gore.
Okay, just peek behind the curtain. These goblins have 8 HP.
Yeah.
He is not even remembered by his parents.
Oh God, I have the same HP as a goblin.
Frothbeard, very good at hunting Nogak.
There's no
So
use
you
in
do
talking
33
to
damage?
heartless creatures who won't even fight you one-on-one honorably.
Yeah, I changed my mind about the criticals just because since we're all using the sheet,
Mhm.
it's just easier to not worry about that way.
Yeah, if the sheets are doing it for us, it's not terrible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you guys roll to crit confirm fails or anything.
I appreciate
What the fuck is this 33?
Mm-hmm.
Because 46 plus both your mod doubled,
Yeah.
so
I
and
guess
you
I'll
rolled
hold
really
the-
good.
Hold a claw swipe for if one of them gets close to me, because they're not good enough position for a spell.
No worries.
So
He's very conservative with the spells.
right,
I'm
right as
thinking 2 of them.
Yeah.
right as we started initiative, Lucilla is like, okay, well, if we stick together, we
Actually-
should be able to. And then she just turns and sees Ephixa run off. Literally every story I've read, never split the party. Okay. I am going to run, say, here, and then I will expend one of my last 2 rounds of Bardic to get that going. Okay. Also, since I'm doing that, I am going to roll a nature to have it apply to the dog, too. That cool, Richard?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Unfortunately, you don't know anything about the dog.
Well, you guys don't get the bonus against the dog.
Actually, well, if it's a common thing, it would be 5 plus the CR.
Mm-hmm.
So no, you do know about the dog.
Okay. Is it just
It
a normal
is-
dog?
It is known as a goblin dog.
Mm-hmm.
With that knowledge, you would know it's one special characteristic. Actually, no. Roll a D2 for this,
Alright.
because I'm going to give you one piece of information.
Yep, really cool. 2.
Yep. It has a version of a disease if it bites you.
Mhm.
Something about goblin dogs is everything but goblins are allergic to them. So it has some issues.
Yeah, she'll call that out as part of her naturalist. She goes, "Oh, it's riding on a goblin dog. I wouldn't get bitten by it. It has some sort of disease it carries."
Ugh, how filthful. Filthy?
Goblins
You mean
are gonna
unsanitary?
Yes, what she said.
go. Ris'sh, you will get an attack of opportunity, or your prepared action. I mean, as these are both gonna come after.
You do get a +1 to that attack of opportunity.
It hits either
should
way.
be in there. Yeah.
And they're both going to make attacks against you because you were the closest target.
Mhm. As an immediate, I'll go ahead and buff my armor with the shield. Although it won't be needed.
I'm
Not for
curious,
this.
Richard, are these pictures of the goblins specific to Runelords, or
Yes.
are they generic?
They're actually specific to Runelords.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, because a lot of the generic goblin tokens are actually just from Runelords.
Well, that was the first thing they came out with before they even came. They came out with Runelords before they even came out with their official rulebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a 3.5 thing before they made the anniversary edition. Yeah, so those both whiff horribly. This guy's gonna go. Him and his dog are both gonna attack Ephixa.
And you are too far away for my buff.
So horse chopper first, 18 for 9 damage,
That'll hit. Ouch.
and then The dog, I don't actually have a macro made for them, but I'll just roll a d20 and add a +2, or a 13 will miss.
Yep.
And all the goblins get to go at the same time, so this one's going to move to here and is going to cast Sleep on Haldor.
What's the?
I believe it's Will. Let me just double check. Remember, it's been so long since I've used that spell. It's only good for like levels 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
It is a Will to negate.
Did you? Do I get a bonus on that from your bardic performance?
I believe you do.
Is it? Hold on, let me double check this. Is it an extraordinary, supernatural, or spell-like ability?
No,
Or
it's
it's
an
just-
actual spell.
If it's an actual spell, then you do not get the bonus.
Okay.
It
Well,
only
something-
applies to
what?
things they can naturally do.
8.
That fails. You are asleep on the ground. Emanuele, you just saw him mutter some gibberish, and Haldor just falls asleep.
Oh yeah, it's getting bad. All right, let me take a look.
Yeah, Fix got hit pretty hard there.
Yeah.
All right, so he is going to. That's difficult terrain, so it'll cost double right there. So he would stop there, and he's going to give combat advice to Ephixa to knock the goblin off, and then don't mind the arrows. I've got your back. So she'll get. Oh, and he's going to. What's the Cavalier teamwork? Hold on.
Does it say how many rounds I'm asleep for?
It says you're asleep for 1 minute per level,
No. Never.
or until someone wakes you.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to hide that because you have 2 casters. They know. They would be able to know with an easy check that all you have to do is wake them if they fall asleep with the spell.
Especially since I have the spell.
Yeah.
Half.
And yeah, this round he's going to fire.
Were you firing it?
I have to fire at that one to give the covering fire ability.
That's
All right, I've got a thing for the mage.
You can tell you to wake up the Haldor.
Oh no, I've got a plan.
Ooh,
Gonna make this
Barbarian just left asleep.
damn! So you don't get the +2 to AC. Fix
Okay.
it.
And it is your turn.
Fix is going to go after the goblin on top of the mount.
Okay.
Did you give me the bonus to the goblin or the dog?
The goblin
The goblin.
to
Okay.
hit.
That's a +2. All right. Ooh.
For 14 points of damage. Nice. I was going to say this guy's AC is a little bit higher, but that doesn't matter right now. With a crit confirm of 20. Oh yeah, he felt that.
And
Haldor, you're asleep. Are you
Yep.
going to move it out of the way?
Is it too late to do a shield bash as well?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Come on, man. It was my turn.
Well, no,
Don't matter, that one will miss.
You
Yeah.
get a +2 as well.
that
It
+2
would
is
still
applied.
miss. Yeah. Even if it was a +2 from that. Ris'sh, you hear Haldor snoring very loudly. He might have a touch of sleep apnea.
Smell and wake froth pelt. And then I'll go in on this goblin next to me. The leftmost one. And I'll miss pretty good. But
You'll hit with 1, but it's not enough to bring him down.
It's like in cartoons where there's the one snot bubble at one of the nostrils.
All right, so let me make sure I measure this out properly. Okay. I won't be able to get. I can only get one the Goblin Caster in this, but I am going to run and I am going to jump both feet down onto Haldor's stomach. Don't know if that'll wake him up or not, but that's 28 pounds in his gut. So.
No, because especially if it's slapping or wounding awakens the creature.
Okay. Well.
And you're 26 pounds, and he's 6'6", 200-something pounds. I don't think it's going to wound him from you stepping on him.
Okay. Well.
I mean, it said
maybe if you had stilettos or something, maybe.
Well, I've just got my halfling feet. I don't wear shoes.
Oh, you're one of those half.
It feels weirder if I'm not. If I'm being.
It's all good.
Anyway, I am going to, since this is the last round of Bardic Performance I have for today, I am going to say some words as I make a hand gesture, and in thin air, some like transparent light book pages appear that form into crystalline shapes and shoot forward in a 15-foot cone. So. Yeah, unfortunately, it does not get any of the other goblins. Well, I guess
I mean, if you had stepped like there, you could probably go both of these.
I have enough movement. I could do that. So.
Well, I mean, it'd be one back to here. It would project in the one in front of you.
Either way, it's enough movement. I could have jumped on him, then stepped off.
Yeah, it's all good.
Either way, it's Court of Shards.
It technically isn't, but I'll allow it for this time because I already said it was okay. So.
What do you mean?
Kenneth was measuring it out. I'm always iffy with the cones.
Oh.
But like I said, I'm just going to allow it since I was the one that fucked up there anyway.
Okay. I was confused when I said it's Court of Shards and you said technically it isn't. I'm like, huh?
No.
So they have to give me reflex saves, and then
Goblin will pass, so he'll take half.
It negates.
Oh, it negates? Okay. And the other one, the Warcaster.
Well, I tried. I can only do it when I'm doing a Bardic Performance, and that's the last round I had.
Oof. Yeah, those are some good rolls.
Yeah, those are some very nice rolls. So, I mean, a +2, that's not unreasonable for a fail.
All right.
These two are going to keep swinging at Ris'sh.
I think technically my bonuses last until the start of my next turn, but I'm effectively out.
Yeah, one will connect.
One will connect for 4 damage against you. The Commando is going to swing at Fix. Although, hold on, let me double check something, because I think the War Chanter would be out of Inspiration by now. Or not Inspiration, but whatever they call it. Inspire Courage. So its damage and attack will go down by 1. Which, with those rolls, it doesn't matter. War Chanter's turn. Let's see, what does he want to do?
Come on, it's like throw a rocket, Haldor.
Man, I should have caught you in my shards.
It's going to step to here and cast Cure Wounds on the Commando. 7. So that one's starting to look better again. Emanuele.
I did
All right.
try to wake him up in my defense.
So Emanuele is going to attempt to do a quick dismount, which would be a free action if he hits a DC 20 ride check. If not, it's a move action to quick dismount to here.
Go for it.
Big money. Nope. All right.
Your foot gets caught in the stirrup and you face plant.
It's still it didn't hurt him.
It is very ungraceful though.
Yeah, it's very ungraceful.
It is now a standard.
Because he steps onto this body below him. Damn it, he was moving down there to awaken that thing. And as a free action, he is going to command Juan to go over here and attack.
Okay. Easy enough being a hunter, so.
It's funny that the wizard is one of our tanks.
It is. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know that was his build. That's actually really good.
Oh yeah. Like, all things considered, I'm playing pretty much a bard.
Couldn't get all the way around him yet. And so that animal will attack.
Which one is he attacking, the goblin or the dog?
The goblin.
Okay. Go for it.
Is there an attack roll built into the sheet? Or should I do a sheet for him later on?
Probably there should be a separate sheet for your animal companion.
There it is.
Yeah, I've got a separate sheet, but I think...
Yeah, it has a bite right there. If you go down to offense on his character sheet, since it's an NPC one, it just has the bite. That will miss though.
Okay.
I guess I was wondering why it had such a low to hit, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's the trade-off of having such a ridiculous HP at this level.
Yeah. And then standard action. Does it take a full action to wake Haldor up?
It will take a standard action.
Okay. And Emanuele will standard action to wake him up.
You just slap him across the face, and Haldor, you're now awake.
He is not happy.
Come on there, good man. No time to sleep on the job.
If there's boot prints on your stomach, it was a goblin.
I thought you said you weren't wearing boots.
Sorry, footprints.
Fix full 5-foot step and then take a swing at this one.
Yep.
Is your bardic performance still going or no?
I think it lasts until the start of my next turn, and you're just in range.
Okay. And is it to attack and damage or just attack?
It's just to attack.
Okay.
But it boosts your AC by 1.
Okay.
Here's the flip side.
That hits for 5. Are you doing a shield bash as well?
No, not this time. Gonna keep trying to tank it up as best I can.
Haldor, you're awoken, and you are pissed. You just had magic on you.
Oh yeah.
It got all over you.
He is going to stand up. He's going to look straight at this magic one and go, I don't think you know what you just did to yourself. And I'm going to double move to be over here.
No worries. Ris'sh.
Well, a slight roar of pain as the one connects, and then hop backwards, eyes glowing purple, and color spray.
Yeah!
2 goblins.
Watch them get like 17s on all their saving throws like they did for me.
They're
Not
will
with Richard
saves.
as the GM.
I don't know. I've been getting natural 1s and no natural 20s this session, so I'm due. So these are just flat D20s because they are plus 0. So one of them just passes.
You
But
can't say no.
Yeah, I forget. Does it have anything happen if they're save
So
or
save negates,
Okay.
or will negates. But yeah, one of them's fucked for probably the rest of his life.
they're unconscious, blinded, and stunned for 2d4 rounds?
I mean,
You want to roll that 2d4?
Can we tell which one is...
I rolled it when I clicked. It's
And then
Yeah.
they're blinded and stunned for 2
Oh.
rounds. And then stunned for 1 round.
Yeah. So this one, I'm gonna just save you guys the trouble.
yeah.
I'm
someone.
not gonna lie. There's no way he's gonna get back into this fight.
Oh, we could interrogate him at the end.
If you want to, but I'm just saying for this fight, he's just not involved. Okay.
I would like to interrogate a goblin and see what kind of ridiculous answers you get.
Lucilla.
All right. I turn to Ris'sh. I don't think I ever got your name, but you got that last one?
Maybe.
Cool. Just run away. I am going to, let's see, that should be close enough.
15.
I am going to perform the aid another action on Ephixa, so I need to beat a DC 10 attack roll here. Because what you can do is that you can either add to the attack roll or to the AC, it says, my choice on aid another. So, if this beats a 10 exactly, you get +4 to your AC. So I imagine, like...
Wait, +4, isn't it usually a +2?
I got aid another from a feat.
Oh yeah, you have that ability that gives you extra +2. I forgot about that.
That is super nice.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, you're right. It's +2. I was thinking of full defensing. I got really excited there for a second.
So
Either way, a +2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
+2. So I
Do you
imagine
have
that.
the halfling trait that gives you another?
No,
+2?
I didn't. I didn't want to give up fearless. Because that's a character thing. Oh no, sorry, it's not a racial trait. It's a trait, and one of them was taken up by the campaign one. We can talk shop later, but I was just gonna say is that thematically, what I imagine that looks like is that if the attack was about to hit, Lucilla would like whip around the forearm or something and just yank her back, so that way she stumbles back out of the way.
Yeah,
of the
that's what I
attack.
was thinking too.
Beauty of the whip is it's super thematic to think about how it's doing all these aid actions. Really easy.
This one's gonna step up and try to swing at the lizard.
Mm-hmm.
And miss horribly.
I will get to the point where I could add 4 to AC, but not yet.
This one is gonna now focus on the giant snake that's right there. So 6 damage to the snake, and then the dog is going to bite at thee. And miss.
Glad I
This
stepped
one.
away.
Is going to 5 foot away.
You think
And-
that's gonna stop?
You know what might stop you? It's gonna tell you a joke.
Oh, the jokes.
Like, it can't happen twice in a row, right?
What color is a goblin? I don't know. I'm colorblind. So we'll save.
10.
That fails. So I will say I'm not trying to pick on you. It literally says it goes for the biggest, scariest target whenever it can. And I'm pretty sure that's Haldor.
Or the snake.
Yeah, but Haldor was right in its face.
Haldor's been eviscerating goblins. The
Yeah.
snake's just been
And he
slinking
was
around.
specifically staring that one down as he got up.
So yeah, Haldor is now prone, laughing uncontrollably for 2 rounds. Or until the thing's killed and the spell ends. Emanuele.
Manuel will 5 foot here, shoot at the spellcaster with point and deadly aim. And we've still got the +1 going from Bard.
Nope, that's over now.
Okay.
I'm all out. I guess I just ran out of facts or something. Who knows?
Or they got tired of listening to.
Mm.
That will miss.
Ooh, okay.
Wait,
And
what?
then as a move action, he will.
For some reason it says my will is a 0 on the sheet. Would 11 make a difference?
It would not. Although it should be a 0. I thought you have just a 10. I thought your stat was just a 10. And I know you don't get a +1 yet for will.
I have it as a miscellaneous modifier. Let me look.
It might be based on rage, maybe.
Maybe. Anyways, you can keep going.
So he is going to move action till Ryzen or Ris'sh to hit it in the ears. And so you'll get a +2 to attack. And then Juan is going to try and attack as well. Free action, command Juan to
Attack the goblin again.
attack the goblin.
Yeah.
Where's
Again.
on sheet?
Okay, I had my bonus trait on my Mythweaver's sheet set to awareness. I hadn't changed it to Heart of the Fields yet.
That one will miss. Fix.
All right. Move up and take a swing at this caster.
Still within 15 feet of me, so you getting that AC.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry.
I thought
Didn't mean to click it twice.
Yeah.
Performance
But yeah,
save.
that will miss. As these ones are proving a lot more resilient than the ones you've been cleaving through.
Mm-hmm.
Probably partially due to the fact that they're trying to keep a Haldor down.
Yeah. Haldor hasn't really got to do anything. The only goblin that he killed got fucking eviscerated.
I mean, to be fair, you've been slaughtering them since we started fighting this session.
Yeah. You've killed like 9 out of 10 of the first ones.
Ris'sh.
5 foot over and full attack. Alright.
Hit, and a hit. So 2, 4, 5. That one hasn't hit yet, so it's still up, but it's wounded. Lucilla.
Shoot.
Wake him up.
He's laughing. He's not asleep.
Don't got any spells or anything?
Well, oh, that's right. I suppose I could do that. Let me check. Hold on. I don't actually have that many spells because I'm Bard, but I do have. I will do this. I'll run over and I will do a chant and put my hand on Frix's elbow and cure light wounds.
Ooh, that'll help.
So I should have just rolled a 1d8 rather than clicking the thing. Thought it would.
It's still healed for 5 though.
Oh yeah, it rolls.
It shows in the middle of the.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you heal 5 hit points.
Awesome.
Hey,
There you
that'll
go.
keep her alive against the blow.
Yeah.
Yep. So I heal you up. A little bit of educational magic. I'm like, okay, that's all I have though. I'm out.
This one's tired of swinging against a thing that it can't hit, so it's going to try to attack Emanuele.
Oh.
And actually hit for 4
It
damage.
does hit.
As this dirty-looking blade just goes up and actually gets under your armor and slices up a little bit of you.
Oh, you disgusting little thing.
This
Tell you,
thing,
keep guard up.
1 against
Thought
the
you would take care of him.
1 takes 9 damage. And then a bite will miss. Man, you might get a new companion pretty soon.
Yeah.
War Chanter's gonna go 5 foot. He got 1 more spell. Let's see. This one's already down. You heard him, Ephixa, so he is going to try to cast Sleep on you.
Okay.
So that'll be a will save, yeah.
Alright.
Looking for 12. Oh yeah, flying colors. You get a little sleep in your eye, but you just wipe it away and you're fine. And you just hear him be like, gulp.
Later on, when I get my anti-magic feats, guys.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, I imagine you're going for superstitious pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
5 foot back. Standard action. Shoot this guy.
Nope.
And then move action. Tell Ris'sh. Again, the ears, man. And then free action. Tell Juan to attack.
Yes, they're very tasty when fried. Cool.
That will miss.
Oh,
Yeah, your pet's having some problems.
all right. And Juan's
Ephixa.
going to.
Oh, there's one.
Actually, he'll just stay there.
You can 5 foot if you want.
Well, yeah, he's fine. He'll give flanking to everyone.
Okay.
Move up there, and then attack. Nope.
Nope.
Dice are turning against me.
Haldor, you're finally realizing the joke wasn't very funny, but it does use this turn. Ris'sh.
Once more onto the slashery. Two more
Still
damage.
up.
Oh. All
Slow
of that
rolls.
just being 2 more damage.
It's at 1, I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Lucilla.
Okay. I'm going to use the whip to aid on attack roll against the magic-y one.
Gotcha.
So beat a DC 10. Hey. So hopefully, Ephixa can get him.
Goblin's gonna go. He's having some luck at attacking Emanuele. Gonna go for it again. Will not succeed this time.
Haha.
Mando is gonna go for your snake, however. Will miss.
Finally.
And then the bite from the dog will miss as well. This one's gonna go. It's running out of room to escape to. Gonna go here. And it's gonna cast Daze on Ephixa.
Will save?
Yes, I believe so. Will negates. 12, that will pass. So you're not stunned. Emanuele.
Alright, Emanuele will step back. Again, take a shot at this guy.
And destroy him.
Alright, and then move action, he will command Juan to squeeze, giving him a +2, and then we'll attack. This is with a +2. +2.
That will
God
miss.
damn it, Juan sucks. Die, you stupid snake. Emanuele
Fix.
mutters that under his voice, or not under his breath.
Hey, definitely helping fix with the tanking though. Alright, move in and attack.
I mean, to be fair, he would be focusing on the snake because it's a giant fucking snake.
Right. Then
That hits. 9. Ooh, it's up by 1.
let shield attack go.
Go for it. Smacky smack. Oh yeah. And as it's reeling from the blade, slicing it, it looks up to you and its face just gets smashed in by the shield.
I think I'm starting to get the hang of this.
Nice
Yeah,
counter.
Haldor.
Standing up as a
You're
move
welcome for the help, by the way.
No, I definitely appreciate it.
And 5 foot stepping there. Or I guess I just took a move action, so
Yeah.
that'd be a double move.
If your move doesn't change space, you can still 5 foot.
It
You
did
can?
change space though. I thought.
No,
I'm
because
not-
move action to get up.
Yeah,
Okay,
move
if
action
I
to get
get
up,
up to it.
you can still 5 foot.
Cool.
At
Then-
times, I do realize why they removed 5 foot from 5e. It's a little.
Yeah, they moved. I think they removed it from
Pathfinder 2e.
Yeah.
But that's because most things don't have AOs anymore.
That's a class or a feat ability at this in 2E.
Yeah, it's a fighter thing.
In
Yeah.
that case, I'm going to go ahead and enter a rage. I'm very mad now.
I
Especially
imagine.
since Ephixa just killed the one I wanted to kill. So I'm going to try to sweep this goblin dog from underneath this goblin.
Okay.
Okay, for attack, damage, and we are good. No other bonuses from anything else.
It is going to use its ride skill to try to parry that blow. So it parries the blow, so no damage comes to his dog because it has combat, mounted combat.
The surprisingly good utility of mounts in Pathfinder. If you don't mind
I mean, if
adding
you remember, that's why I was asking whether you guys were attacking the dog or the goblin.
if you don't mind adding an extra 4 skill rolls per turn of encounters,
You can only do that once per turn.
yeah, it's just a joke.
It's basically a
All
reaction. So if you have combat reflexes, I think you can do more.
right.
But I don't know for sure.
Huh?
But these guys don't have combat reflexes, so it don't matter.
Actually, I'll go ahead and make that a move for 10 feet or 15 feet. And I'll cast Ray of Frost on the goblin.
That will miss.
And it would have only done one anyway, so
Lucilla, this
Oh, the
goblin's been
choice, first
surprisingly
level.
resilient.
I'm going to 5-foot step here, and then I'm gonna lash out with the old whip, and I'm gonna try to trip the goblin.
Okay, go for it.
The probably aid would have been a better, but you knew adventurer.
That
Nope.
will miss.
Listen, it was worth a shot.
He's gonna split his attacks. He's gonna attack Juan. His dog's going to attack Haldor. So horse chopper. Ooh, natural 20 to confirm. Does not confirm. So it's just 6 damage, but he is at 0.
He is laying unconscious.
And then the dog is gonna try to bite at Haldor. 17 will hit for 4, and I need a fort save from you.
Which you should hopefully be good at.
Yeah. Definitely better than Will, but the way 16.
Oh yeah, you're fine. His dander does not get all over you, so you do not have a witch reaction. Emanuele, I forget if they get down to exactly 0, they don't have to start making Constitution.
I think they're
saves to
still
stat them.
conscious and up.
Yeah, they're
there's
like staggered. Yeah.
staggered, so I
But
think
as soon as they make an action, I think they go to 0 or minus
Yeah.
1 or something.
Yeah,
Unless you have like a whole laundry list of feats.
right.
okay. And so Emanuele,
Hey, we're trying to relearn low-level Pathfinder, okay?
Oh yeah.
move over here, take a shot at the big goblin. How dare you take down the wall?
Look, at high level Pathfinder, no one is left at 0.
Ooh. Yeah, that'll.
Does not confirm, so it's still only 9 damage.
Man, that's an AC. What kind of armor is he wearing?
Looking at him, he has some kind of studded leather.
I guess none of us are small enough to wear it.
it looks still maybe, but
I'm comfortable in my reinforced tunic.
Yeah,
Are you
he's-
having
he's
Juan do anything?
technical. He's-
Can he? What's the?
He's staggered, so he can either do a move or a standard. And I think if he does either, he goes down to -1.
I think he can move without it. It's a physical
Yeah,
attack.
but it will provoke, though, unless he does
Yeah.
only use a 5 foot.
So if you stayed there, he's still there for flanking.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell him to play dead. Just stay. He'll lay there, look like he's dead.
No worries. Ephixa.
All right. Move in and attack the goblin.
I'll outflank you from there because you all are kind of surrounding him.
Okay.
We'll miss, unfortunately.
All right.
Haldor, let's see if they held you back enough to block an attack again, but doesn't look like it.
Alright, this time I'm going to swing for the goblin,
That's fair.
because it'll be easier to kill the dog once he's dead. So, I technically have flanking here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, anyone who's attacking him right now, I'm just going to say has flanking because he's surrounded.
So, 4. Then I'm going to power attack. Okay.
That will
Oh
miss.
God.
Oh, I know what I'm going to do on my turn.
Ris'sh.
Yeah, it's time to Mighty Morphin Haldor.
Scooch on in and claw at the goblin with all my might.
Well, it won't confirm, but all 3 of those will hit.
Yay.
So,
You know, I just figured like I wouldn't need like more than a +8 to hit this thing.
fun thing is, the wizard brings him down with the full attack.
Nice.
You're just gonna move him here because the dog is still left.
I just imagine it's like somehow he deflects a great sword with his little dog slicer. He's like, haha, you can't, and then just claws.
Just all of a sudden, this giant lizard just jumps at him out of nowhere.
Angry raptor noises.
Like the camera flashes so we don't see it, but we just see the shadow of him tearing it apart while everyone else just looks on like horrified.
2, 6.
And the noble peeks out from around the corner. Clever girl.
Lucilla.
All right, I am going to aid Haldor with this. So if I hit a 10, nice. Okay, +2 to your attack against the dog. Just for Haldor, I can't give it to everyone, unfortunately. That would be insane. But
The dog's turn. He's just gonna start lashing out. The last thing that attacked was Ris'sh, so that's who's going for
Ooh, no connect.
for 5 damage, and you need to make me a fort save. That fails. You are now -2 Dex and Charisma for the next 24 hours.
Mm.
-2 to Dex and Charisma.
Yes.
Ooh. Gave you the fleas.
Yeah, you have now developed a weird rash on the top of your scales.
I don't like how the goblin dog has fucking mutton chops.
Emanuele.
Manuel's, as a move action, is going to command Ephixa. Get it while it's not looking. And he is going to take a shot. So you get +2 to attack.
Okay.
And he's going to take a shot and say to Haldor, "Don't fear his attacks."
That will hit, and that will finish it.
Okay.
The mount was really fucking weak.
Well, just for fun.
yeah.
Like, literally, the ride check is the only thing that saved that dog.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I
beauty
didn't
of
figure
running.
the goblin would have magic combat for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's a commando one, so it does. But as
Thanks.
you finish off the goblins,
One goblin in that fight.
I mean, in the other fights, you killed like every goblin.
Yeah, that was good. Like, the other fights were just, we waded right through them. This one, it took a while, and we got... Wait, the snake's dead! Oh no!
Well, it's up. It's at 0.
Yeah, it is just very wounded.
It also helped that in the last fight we had like all of our buffs at full strength.
Yeah.
This noble, as you finish it off, just comes running past everybody and just hugs Ephixa. Like, thank you so much for saving me. By the way, you have no idea who this is.
Okay. We're glad that we could help. Are you okay? Are you alive? Well, obviously you're alive, but are you injured?
I'm not. Luckily, my dog held it off. Oh, my dog. Oh no.
Crushed
Anyway,
under the coils of Gerard.
Yes, it's making it very uncomfortable for Juan. Could you move your dead dog?
While Juan was playing dead, she was actually eating the dog.
the dog's halfway down its esophagus.
It's like it's trying to do it slowly because it thinks no one will notice, like some animals do.
We're all just looking at it, and it takes another little gulp.
You guys have seen how dogs try to do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Well, no harm done. I can always get another dog. I can't get another me.
It's very true.
So I thank you so much for all your help, and you kind of look around, and as like he keeps like talking like nonstop. You know how nobles do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's about himself. A lot of it is about how he owes you so much. But you do hear the sound of fighting slowly go away over time. You see some goblins managing to scale the walls, but a lot of them, as they're trying to do that, are slashed down by the guards that have finally mobilized. The town itself isn't much of an ordeal after this whole fight, but it was resolved, and not many people died as much as the goblins did. So we'll go ahead and end the session there. That seems a good point because it is the time anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.